Oh, yeah, buddies, it's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. Gail Bennington on maternity leave. Being maternal right now, which I'm reminded by this new water bottle from Party Shots.
Party Shots Bob sent that beautiful water bottle over.
I know, I come in, there's all kinds of presents today, you know, I guess to celebrate the Fall Classic. Am I the only one rooting the Dodgers? You guys are all Red Sox?
I'm rooting the Dodgers.
Let me tell you something, Vito. That opening today, one more word and you would have had a heart attack. I mean, it was the wordiest one yet. Vito has been the executive producer of the this year's Hell Gig show. And we're going to play that Friday here on the show?
Yeah, Friday at 4 p.m.
This is, this is our favorite conversation to ever get into. People, the comics that have done a gig so hellish, so nightmarish, that they seem to remember every moment of it, every bead of sweat. I'm looking forward to it, Vito.
Yeah, it's this one. It's even better than last year's, and I loved last year's. We got over 25 comics involved in it. It's a really great special.
Give me a couple of the names.
We got David Cross, Colin Quinn, Nikki Glazer, Big J, Bo Burnham.
Can I just say something? This is bigger than life. You're doing something bigger than life right now.
We got some great names on this.
Original Chris. You know what? You got to stir it this time, too. That's great. Thanks, Original Chris. He just gave me a little pat on the shoulder. Like everything's going to be okay, Pop.
Well, touchy-feely there.
He looks exhausted today.
He does look. I thought, I said to him, like, you look a little, you guys sleep last night, Original Chris? What happened?
Well, the fact that I'm having a cappuccino doesn't mean that I got a lot of sleep last night. You know why, Chris?
Why's that?
The world. I'm constantly worried about the world right now and the world's problems.
A lot of bad things are happening in the world.
They say the best way to solve the world's problems is just toss and turn all night. Though my mind are going through these changes. Lovely gifts in here. Jim from Iowa sent me a copy of American Tall Tales. I have this thing that I really want Julia to be exposed to crazy American mythology that it seems like the schools don't teach anymore.
Yeah, they don't have interest in it. It's really strange.
And then it's not strange. It's just life passes by. There's a lot of things that aren't the same. Matter of fact, today when I got up, I put on this movie. Now I don't even remember the name of it. Sean Penn is like an undercover cop in Hell's Kitchen in the late 80s.
State of Grace?
The entire neighborhood is gone. That entire neighborhood doesn't exist. It's all down along the water where they're putting in all those new buildings, that whole city within inside a city.
Yeah.
But it was just amazing Irish dive bars throughout the whole movie.
There's so few of those left in New York City.
Such a damn good movie.
Yeah.
Sean Penn, I'm lifting my cappuccino to salute you, Gary Oldman, and an incredibly beautiful Robin Wright. I like to say, Robin, you're the right gal for me. That would be my way of trying to pick her up.
I think it'd work.
I've been slow playing her now since 1985. And I really do. Fucking cappuccino wasn't cheap, I think. Probably Original Chris probably pocketed a 5 or a 6 for himself.
What the fuck, Chris?
Tell me, ask him if he got some sleep last night. I'm worried about him.
Chris, did you get any sleep last night? He's saying no, he didn't.
You know why? He's on Aussie time.
That's probably right. He hasn't, his body hasn't.
His clock runs counterclockwise, just like his turlet. And then the lovely Maureen recently was in Sleepy Hollow, sent us some gifts from Sleepy Hollow, including a book a T-shirt and a pamphlet about the town.
Yeah, and there's a little map of Sleepy Hollow in there as well.
Maybe I could take Juliet there when she gets a little bigger.
See all the sights. It might be a little
try
scary.
to like, woo. Today, start of the Fall Classic was like the first real autumn day outside. The entire light of the street has changed. I love autumn.
It's the best.
Autumn in New York rocks.
Oh, you're doing the old song?
Yeah.
Who did that song?
Oh God.
I only know Willie Nelson. I don't think it's an original for him.
I think Ella Fitzgerald's done it. A bunch of you have done the song "Autumn in New York."
She's sung everything. You know what? I know a lot of people never bring up this subgenre of movies, but I think I will watch any movie that takes place in the fall. I don't know why, because it's such a short window. The actual, the leaves are changing, the leaves fell. It's only a matter of weeks. Where winter lasts, they say 6.5 years.
It just feels that way.
Earl, you like the dog days of August. That's your
I
favorite.
love summer.
Yeah,
I like
you
long
just
days.
love hot.
I love hot, long days. Fall is cool.
The
but
thing I love about you'll always open up a fire plug.
it's an instant pool.
Well, it's like a little waterfall for your ankles. Also, just blow you off your feet. See, I still say fire plug. That's a fucking thing I held on to. What do you say?
We say fire hydrant.
Yeah, hydrant. Like that's fucking 99% of the world. And I can't get plug out of my head from being a kid.
We can get started again.
What's that?
We can get that started again.
Why do we got to get anything started? How fucking raw do you think my ego is that I need everyone to say the same thing I say? That's all right, Chris. I haven't had my cappy cap.
Would you consider Rushmore a fall movie since he's starting school in that semester?
I would say yes. And you came up with a very good point. Most school movies take place in the fall. Like Days of Confused is the last day of school. So that's the summer. But most fucking movies, any autumn movie, and then it made me always like, I'll watch it. I go, man, I wish I would have done better in school. I wish I would have went to some private school and studied.
For me, it's a Dead Poet Society.
Yeah, of course. Now, that's not far from where I grew up either, Earl.
Really?
That's down in Delaware, yeah. My parents don't live far from there now. They're down in Maryland. I'll take you down there one time, but it's got to be fast. No, I'm only kidding. The whole world is fucking...
Adapted.
Yeah, we're woke. Although, and Chris just sent this story in. What's her name? Megyn Kelly?
Megyn Kelly, yeah.
All right, brace yourself, Earl. I want you to hold on to yourself when you hear Megyn Kelly's argument today. Go ahead and tell her, Chris, what Megyn, because I didn't see it.
She said that what makes blackface racist?
She was saying for Halloween, why can't the kids go out in little blackface, Earl?
She was pro blackface today on her show.
Pro blackface? Really?
Yeah. But, as the funny thing, I mean, you could be a zombie. You could be a vampire. You could be a scary goose monster. Why can't you be
Al Jolson?
Yes.
No.
Just show up as Al Jolson.
But Al Jolson was dressing up in
Mammy! He literally yelled out, Mammy.
How I love you.
Fuck. Al! Come on, dude. You can't do this, Al. That fucking, what's her name again?
Megyn Kelly.
Oh, man. She gets outside the box, don't she? I mean, she is a shock jock.
She didn't let go of the Fox News things, huh?
Hey, Wes. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Yeah, how y'all doing? I was going to say a lot of the football movies, especially like Rudy, was one I always
Well,
think about.
Rudy is a very good point because Rudy was like, made you want to go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Like, I could go to Notre Dame, study real hard, get on the fucking practice squad.
Hang out with
Like,
the
it
janitor.
looked like it wouldn't be such a bad life for yourself. Not that he had a lot of people at home believing in him. Oh, they were like, Rudy, please. None of us go to school. And then the father came. Remember when the father came to the last game? And then for some reason, spoke in an Irish brogue. He just comes in and goes, "Oh, this is the finest sights this eyes have ever seen." Well, like you're from fucking Chicago, dude.
You could have gone to any game up until that point.
Hey, Ford.
Hey, buddies. Hey, a good fall movie, Get Low. Robert Duvall, Bill Murray. Sissy
Oh,
Spacek.
yeah. That was a small little movie.
Yeah. It's not a great movie, but it's a good fall movie because there's a lot of good foliage shots.
You know what? I'm going to give you that. It's a good fall movie, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good fall movie. I want a movie where, like, some geese are in a V. They call it a V, but it really is more like a less than or greater than because it's never set up in the sky like a V.
Cool formation, though.
Well, yeah, it's not a bad formation. Don't get me wrong. Earl, I still think you're holding some aggravation from that blackface thing.
Yeah.
That ain't me. That's Megan Fox saying that.
Megan Kelly.
What the hell did Megan Fox say?
She was an
What
actress.
does the fox say? Meow, 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 meow. I'm going to let you in on this. That was Juliet's first laugh. When
Was it?
Gail was doing that. She fucking taped it. It was my favorite thing in the whole world.
I played a song with the hard rock. It drives everybody crazy.
Oh, of course it does. What are you trying to do? Fucking drive people out of there, Earl?
No, kids love that song.
Yeah, no, you're right. They do. I would if I was a kid. If I was a kid, I'd be like, put on that fucking Fox Says song. Is that Michael J. Fox that did that song?
I don't believe. No, it is not.
Max and VA. Max?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah.
I got a fall movie for you. Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko was a fall movie. I don't even seem to remember that.
Yeah, because it was Halloween.
Good call.
Oh, yeah.
Good fucking call. But he was in a warm part of the world. He wasn't in an orange trees part of the world.
No, not
Like
at all.
E.T. took place in the fall, but you wouldn't even fucking know it. It's a California fall.
You need a Northeast, Midwest.
Oh, man, you are prejudiced, Earl. You're prejudging. What is Vito, ready to have something?
Yeah.
Thanks for wearing the cool fucking hat again
Okay, man.
and getting off that stupid thing that you were doing.
It's chill hip bro. Fat hip bro look.
That's the guy I want to. That's the guy I want to hang with.
Maybe I'll start wearing some fake glasses too to go along with it.
You know, I'm doing the bonfire tonight, so I'm going to run out and grab a bite in between shows. And I'm saying you're invited.
Cool.
And Chris,
Yes, Ron?
cover for us. No, you can come too, Chris.
Cool, thanks.
It's not going to be as good as the last time I took you out.
That was great.
My
That was
fucking
amazing.
business manager called me about that. He said, "What did you do? Take 20 guys out?" I go, "No, just Stanley."
It's very enjoyable.
Well, maybe you'd like to take me somewhere one day.
I could take
It's been
it someplace.
fucking 11 years I've been taking you out. How about once you say I got a surprise for you?
Okay, I'll work on that.
I'm only kidding. All right, Vito, what do you want to jump in with something?
Yeah, the romantic comedy When Harry Met Sally. Even the poster for the movie is like a really nice.
It is a fall movie, but here's where you made your little mistake. Those same people did a fall movie right in your fucking neighborhood.
You've Got Mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, You've Got Mail is a great. But I personally like When Harry Met Sally better.
I know, but we're talking about your neighborhood.
Yeah, because
I mean, have some fucking pride in yourself.
Upper West Side boy. I should just be.
Hey, you know what they were shooting in my neighborhood today is Madam Secretary. So I'm over. Guy comes in a coffee shop and he's getting fucking 12 coffees, and I go, "Which one of these?" And he says, "We're shooting Madam." I goes, "Which one of these is Tia Leone?" He goes, "I'm not at liberty to say." I go, "I didn't say I wanted to fucking spit in it. I'm just curious which one it is. I don't have a hold of your coffees. Just fucking point me at the Tia Leone." I've always loved her, Earl.
She did a show on Fox that was so damn funny. And
Well,
cool.
what are you talking about?
Tia Leone. She did.
Yeah, well, what show?
I can't remember the name of the show, but it was.
Was it The Simpsons? Has there been another show on Fox?
Yeah, it didn't last very long.
Was she in blackface?
No, she was not in blackface.
Because that might have been Martin. What was Martin on?
Martin was on Fox.
See? Boom. Prize closet. I know that you like it better, but there's a scene, and this is right in your neighborhood, where he says, I love autumn in New York. It makes me want to buy pencils. And that was right. I saw your fucking house there.
You saw my house?
Yeah.
Don't say the address.
I saw your mom asking people for change going up and down the street.
She does that from time to time.
Yeah, she's got a cup out there.
Lunch gets expensive for me.
Then she also has like a little booth that says, ask me about Studio 54. They're having some kind of reunion party. I saw a fucking sign for it.
Oh, I got to ask her about that.
Nobody, I don't think she's running it.
I mean, maybe she's
maybe, how about telling her about it? I don't know where I saw it. Somewhere on the street.
Yeah, there's a new documentary on Studio 54.
Maybe that's it. When's it come out?
I believe it's out now in theaters.
Screener. Screener. Get a fucking screener. Already fucking Chris owes me money for sending me to that goddamn Fourth Star is Born.
Wait, I owe you the cash for that now?
Hey, John.
And for a small popcorn, which quite frankly still made me sick.
It doesn't matter the amount of popcorn I eat. It's over for me.
Movie popcorn is like saying, could you give me a disease?
Do you put the butter on?
No, I haven't put grease on it in a long time. That'll really make me fucking sick.
It will. It makes me.
I don't have your fucking iron gullet.
I can't stop myself.
I had to fucking take you on the road in the circus. Just have you eat fucking
Oh, God.
people's fucking jewelry and shit. There was guys like that. They would have this thing that they could swallow all kinds of fucking shit and then spit it back up. Like a guy could swallow a fucking light bulb. He'd open up his mouth. No light. And then he would, and the light bulb would come back up. I could be you, Chris. We can make us some fucking serious cash.
I'd be out. I don't know if I want to eat a bunch of light bulbs.
I'd be outside just fucking calling people in.
Can we stick to like cheeseburgers?
I don't know. I remember any time you've done an eating contest, you've failed.
Yeah, I usually fucking.
But you're always saying, oh, I could eat a whole fucking pound cake. Then he has like a slice or two and he's like, ah. And then he yells, nobody could eat a whole pound cake. I go, that's what we were saying to you. I mean, this has happened so many times. Maybe we ought to put you in blackface, send you up to fucking all the way uptown and have them beat the shit out of you.
Oh, God.
And then you can just have a thing that says Megan Fox told me to wear this.
Megan Kelly, Ron.
Who's Megan Fox then?
Megan Fox is
Meow, 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 meow.
She's the hot girl with the weird thumbs.
Hot girl with the weird thumbs.
All right, Earl, put a picture.
Why do I want to see a picture of a girl's thumbs?
You'll know her because I know.
I know who the beautiful Megan Fox is. Not you pointed her out.
Okay.
I don't give a shit how big a woman's thumbs are. Look, Megan, I can't be with you. Your thumbs are fucking gigantic.
I don't care about her toe thumbs.
Look, she's beautiful. Look, he gets all face shots. Why wouldn't you put thumbs after it, you maniac?
Megan Fox thumbs.
How do you not know how to fucking Google? You just put thunk. Ah!
Yeah, they're rough.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
She looks like she let a squirrel gnaw on him, too. Meow, 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 meow. All right, Lana wrote, I guess this is about the gig that me and Norton are doing with Ricky Gervais, and people can, win round trip to New York for it. But then she wrote, damn, only Americans can enter. Yeah. You know why? We're nationalists. We are nationalists. 50 states. That's all I care about, Earl. To be totally honest, only 48 of them really have my heart. There's 2 that don't connect to another state. That, quite frankly, I don't give a fuck if we sold them tomorrow. What do you think we could get for Alaska?
I mean, the Russians got a lot of cash. I'd say a few billion.
Billion?
Yeah.
That ain't even worth it then. You can't even build a fucking bridge for $1 billion. I'm going to say the Russians. Are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me you're trading that for a bridge? Fuck you. Or I'll say it like this. Fick you. Fick you. Terry.
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, we're talking about fall movies. Outside Providence is one of my favorite fall movies.
I fucking love that movie, man. Did you guys ever see this movie
I have
before?
not seen it, no.
I think at least one Farley brother directed it. It's a 70s movie. It wasn't made in the 70s. It was made about the 70s. There's a little comedy, Earl. I'm not saying it's the fucking Godfather, if that's where you're going with this. You're better off watching Across 110th Street for the 2000th time.
Fantastic film and
It's fucking
soundtrack.
great. There's not a black exploitation film that I don't just love.
Black Caesar.
They're all good, Earl.
Superfly.
Yes, we're going to fucking go through each of them. You want to hit Cotton Goes to Harlem?
Another great one.
Yeah, of course it's a great one.
Come back, Charleston Blue.
I even like the newer ones, like American Gangster. I can watch that fucking film every day.
And they always show the director's cut, too. Which
Look,
is already,
I'm going to be honest here. I'll watch any fucking movie that has a character named Bumpy Johnson.
That one of the great names of
It's
all time.
unbelievable. The only thing is, I wish that he also played with the Monarchs. I wish that there was a crossover.
The greatest unis ever.
All right, Earl, stop bragging. You don't see me. I start bragging about white people, and the next thing I know, I'm off the air. You had great uniforms. We came up with penicillin. And by we, I mean me and a nice couple. Hey, Vito, I'm going to ask you this since you're going to Dodger up with me. Do you know where the Dodgers got their name from?
No, where?
Not one of you guys? Earl should know this.
No, I don't.
The way I heard it, and I didn't hear it from a historian, but I remember hearing this when I was a kid. It was about dodging trolleys. They said that you used to have to dodge trolleys in Brooklyn all the time because they would just run trolley cars up and down the fucking street. Last stop was Media, because there's nice restaurants there. Beep, 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 beep. Joe in New Jersey.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Ronnie, big fan. Talking about fall movies and autumn movies. I was thinking Hannah and Her Sisters. I don't know if anybody mentioned that.
Let me just tell you something. You might have got the definitive fucking answer. That's a beautiful movie.
I think it's a few Thanksgivings, like it's 2 years or 3 years, and they jump back and forth.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm going to send you into the pretty good prize closet.
With the lead.
I'm going to send you into the pretty good prize closet for that. Now, have you seen Hannah, Chris? Because I know you don't like to watch any movies that don't have fucking CGI.
I love CGI. I have not seen Hannah and Her Sisters.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you, no.
It's one of the great New York comedies of all time, Woody Allen. It's a gorgeous fucking movie. It's hilarious. And unlike most Woody Allen movies, it has kind of a sweet ending to it. But there's this hilarious fucking scene. So they're shooting this, I think, like in Woody's house and Mia Farrow's house. They're just, he's always on the fucking cheap, this Woody Allen. So there's the scene where it's Thanksgiving and there's a kid's table. And one of these little kids ends up becoming Woody Allen's wife.
Wow.
So, is it Sun Yi?
Sun Yi.
Sun Yi is in that movie as a little kid.
I never knew that.
You didn't even fucking see the movie, Chris. You haven't seen anything but fucking Pete Kelly's Blues. You won't go back to the movies. That was actually my dad. My dad, if someone would bring up a movie, he would say this every year. I haven't been to a movie since Pete Kelly's Blues. Like, why are you bragging about not going to a movie since 1958? Pete Kelly's Blues. He was so proud to say that. And then Earl, I forced him to go to a movie with me.
Which movie?
Well, take a guess.
I'll say The Godfather.
No. A father and son movie. Baseball.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Ooh. I'm welling up just thinking of it.
Go ahead, let yourself go. Let yourself cry the way I wanted to fucking cry at the new Star is Born. that fucking Chris set me up for.
I really enjoyed that film. I'm a big Jackson Maine fan.
Well, he was the best thing in the movie, in my opinion, too.
What'd you think of Chappelle?
I thought he was terrific.
I
know you think it's fucking racist for a black guy to be a drummer. I don't know where that came from.
I didn't pick up that he was his drummer.
Of course you didn't fucking pick it up because you can't get past skin. I'm sorry you had to hear this, Cyril.
No worries.
You know what? It isn't over. You know what I mean? Our battle goes on.
Struggle continues, Ronnie.
The struggle continues. And I'm a nationalist, you know? Hopefully I'm going to be a Proud Boy. Sent a couple texts I haven't gotten in yet.
I think you need
A lot
a
of people
tattoo.
think I'm trying to infiltrate the Proud Boys.
Make it ink.
Yeah, I'm at the meeting right now. Seems sillier than I thought it was going to be. I'm sorry you had to hear him say that fucking shit. I can't stand his racism. But he is a nationalist, so I give him that.
America first.
And his favorite band is The National.
Me and Ellie Kemper love the National.
She loves The National?
She brought up that she loved the National during her
Wait,
Unmasked.
you just sit and watch that Unmasked like you're fucking taking notes. It's freakish how much you pay attention to that. Unless I look up for a time check. Then I just see him fucking playing fucking Words with Friends or whatever that shit is. These guys do.
Little Candy Crush sometimes.
My word was friends is always the same one, Cunny. I go old school. When I saw that coffee, because here's what I wanted to write on it, you know, something that would get Tia Leone to pay attention to me. And I just wanted to write, next time, can I take you out for a Tia, Leone? But this fucking asshole wouldn't let me write on the cup.
Guy's a piece of shit.
He wants to keep her mind in the game. I mean, that Madam Secretary, they got a fucking problem every week there. It's very close to Blacklist. Like, more people get... How many people do you think have been killed on Blacklist? I'm going to say 158,000. Like, that fucking show for being on regular TV, torture porn.
High body count.
So they filmed The Blacklist down at Chelsea Piers, and they must have been doing a fucking prison scene recently, because I'm leaving the gym, and there's just 30 dudes dressed as inmates standing outside the gym.
When you go fucking stand next to him.
And it was all week. The same prisoners were just standing out there as children walked in there.
They should have put you in a uniform that just said rat on the fucking front of it.
Snitch.
He is a fucking snitch. Somebody tells me that he's fucking constantly ratting out Chris Stanley.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
New boss.
He takes pictures of Chris when Chris falls asleep.
Oh, I do that.
That never happened.
Dude, you had to be woken up by other fucking shows. You remember what show woke you up?
Yes, I remember.
Oh.
Nick DiPaolo.
You know what Nick texted me?
What?
He's laying in his own piss.
I didn't piss myself.
No, it wasn't your piss. It was Nick's.
Oh, okay.
He figured you fucking deserved it. You get checked out Nick's podcast? Oh, he's giving that Hillary Clinton the what? He's letting her know. I heard him go off on Dorothy Stratton the other day from Star 80. Like, why would you have a problem with her? Apparently, it was all her fault. She drove this guy to it.
I like that hot take.
These levels are down so far. I got to put these on. Because you're a real fucking chatterbox today, you are. You're a real fucking talkomaniac. There you are. Oh, I know why. There's only one fucking channel working. What do you think about that?
I think that sucks and that shouldn't be happening.
Does anybody check this fucking thing when they so-called set it up every day? Or do you come in here, jerk off on the fucking board and say, perfect for Ron?
No one's masturbating in the studio.
I wouldn't like that, would you, Earl?
No.
I wouldn't thank you. Boom, boom, boom.
No semen shooting everywhere in there.
Gail's very excited about the water bottle from Party Shots Bob.
It's beautiful.
Shut up. You're so. What's the fucking word I'm looking for a kiss ass? There's like a better.
Sycophant.
Oh, thank you. You fucking sycophant. Because I don't want to just call you a kiss. Well, why are you? What do you get out of that? And I'm not a man who fucking. I enjoy just the opposite. I enjoy like a little fucking intellectual stimulation. And this is what I get out of my fucking staff after I say something. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Remember where that's from, Earl?
That Little Rascals?
It's really good, Earl. Who was your favorite? Stymie? Because I'm going to tell you right now.
Great line.
Stymie was my all-time favorite.
He did have great. One of my favorite lines. My daddy was a crap shooting fool.
That's fucking hilarious.
Porky always cracked me up too.
Porky was fucking. I mean, he's on. You know, when you're born with that kind of fat talent, you can't say enough about Porky. That fucking guy will eat anything. I remember one time I was a little kid. I was watching that show, and I just yelled out, "Porky's eating it." What are you trying to do now?
Just make it louder.
I got fucking these on, but only one channel.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I can't even do the ARSMR or whatever the fuck it's called. Which, by the way, did you see this fucking guy sent one in today?
I saw.
We never have it, and then every day we're going to get one now.
Cardi B. Cardi B's all in the ASMR now too, and hers is very sexual and fun.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, I just got this sent to me. Couple of fantastic funny men's birthdays today. Birthdays. So I'm going to let you guys play 20 questions. And here's what I'm going to do. 5 points, whoever gets the first birthday. 7 for the second. And then that person will get producer of the day.
I want this real bad.
All right, first question. Chris.
Are they act? Do they act? Do they act, Ron? That's question number one.
You can't fucking ask a question.
Well, I was going to ask another question, but then I didn't want to come off as a racist.
Do that one instead, because they're not actors.
Are these white men?
You're half right.
Okay.
Earl.
I was going to say, is it female? Is she a female?
No, of course not. Women don't have birthdays. How come Vito isn't in on this? Come in and grab a fucking thing. I can't have you. There can't be fucking 710 pounds worth of shared space over one fucking microphone. You know I'm not off bar.
No, you're not off.
I think seriously,
really accurate.
Yeah, I could be working the fucking midway with that fucking guess. What is it, Vito? You don't even know how to use a mic. Everyone's driving me nuts today.
You don't post it at your stomach? I just wanted people to hear my stomach growl.
Go ahead.
Do they have blonde hair?
No.
Damn it.
So we got a black guy and a white guy, and I'm going to tell you this, they have zero connection to each other. So you may want to work on one over the other. This is 2 comedians' birthdays.
I'm going to guess.
Wow. That's a shocker. Go ahead, Earl. If you get this, you're the fucking...
Chris Rock.
No. Why, just based on black? Come on, Earl.
Had either of them ever had a TV show?
No.
Fuck.
Do they have a Netflix special?
I don't think so. Not yet.
Damn it.
Does this person... my tongue is so not working today.
That had nothing to do with your tongue. Just the fact that you're trying to do they. Well, these guys have zero connection.
Do they host a late night show?
Yes, together.
With the same birthday?
You make it sound like you're talking about Caitlyn Jenner. Have they been on the Kardashians? Go ahead.
Have either of these men been a guest on our show?
E. Both.
Is one Chris DiStefano?
No.
Damn it.
Go ahead, Earl. Birthday guesses. 5 points for the first, 7 for the second. On the line today, producer of the day.
Are they promoting a film?
It's their
I don't know.
You're not on the fucking circuit here. I mean, this
They're
is a
not
fun fact.
They had a birthday. Not,
I'm trying to cover both.
What would they be in promote? Why would they be? What do they promote? What?
What if they're doing a movie together?
But who's promoting a movie right now?
Wait, who's like what comedy star?
they're not fucking together. I don't even think these two fuckers met each other before.
All right.
He's getting his fucking feelings hurt now. He wants to bring down the fucking fun. All right, man, don't fuck with me. Go ahead, Vito.
Are they both alive?
Yeah, of course. I'm not gonna. Dead people don't have birthdays.
I'm gonna guess.
Of course you are.
Is the black man Cat Williams?
No, stop it. No.
I'm gonna guess Colin Quinn.
Oh, what? What are you based? You haven't even asked enough questions to get to this. I find racism just because I said one was black.
I'm gonna throw in Kevin Hart now.
No, forget it. I'll just tell you guys because you don't want to play this. Became obvious.
I want to play. I want to get them both right. I want to get all 12 points. I want to be producer of the day. I'm trying out here. Earl's the one fucking being a dick.
Don in Maine. What's up, buddy?
Talking about Little Rascals before.
Yeah.
The fat kid was chubby.
Well, first of all, he was one of the fat kids. There was plenty of fat kids in there, including Spanky.
No,
We're talking about Little Porky. You never fucking saw Porky before?
Yeah, I did.
Chubsy Ubsy actually scared me a little bit when I was a kid because his face was like a scary pig face. Put up Chubsy Ubsy, Little Rascals. Because I remember when he was trying to hit on Mrs. Crabtree, he seemed like a rapist to me. Look how fucking... Look at it. Look at that face. It's scary. Go ahead and hit it. Hit it, Earl.
Call me Chubsy Ubsy.
Look at that.
All right, Chubsy Ubsy. Whoopee!
That's frightening, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Crabtree, there's something heavy on my heart. I want to ask you something. Oh, Chubsy Ubsy, there's gonna be something heavy on your nose.
That was there was one of them when Miss Crabtree was engaged and they didn't want her to get married because she would have babies and move away. And then they made up all kinds of lies and told her to this guy. And then Mrs. Crabtree like forced them to tell the truth. And that one kid was like this. We said you had a wooden leg to turn a guy off. That was the fucking peak. When Trump is talking about make America great again, he's talking about these fucking kids. We said you had a wooden leg. What do you got, Vito? You gonna ask a question, or this is gonna be it?
Do they do sketch comedy?
Oh God, just forget it.
I want to know who they are, but
all right, I'll tell you. It's Weird Al and Keith Robinson.
Fuck, I was.
You were what?
I was fucking gonna guess Keith Robinson
because he does sketch comedy.
No, I wasn't.
You were going as far away from that as you possibly could.
I swear to fucking God, I was gonna.
He's a liar.
There is no producer of the day now.
Sucks.
Nobody's the producer of the day.
We all suck.
And no one's going out for dinner with me. And it has to be a fast one anyway. I got to do, I think it's called the Bonefire. Bonfire is a crazy name for a show, huh?
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Do they light a big fire every show?
Full campfire with wood.
This time last year, me and Jay were fucking texting each other every week after the games. I was sending them some great fucking memes I have. No more. Nothing this year.
Is he already all in on the Sixers season? Of
course he is. He fucking loves the Sixers. He's obsessing. I go, we got so fucking long to go. You're not going to sit around and fucking enjoy a whole basketball season. You'll burn out on it. Sam in North Carolina.
Hey, Ronnie B.
Hey.
When Mickey, he already had 2 brothers and sisters, and his mom got knocked up again, and he read that 1 in 4 kids born was Chinese. I don't want a Chinese brother or sister.
I don't even remember that.
Oh, yeah, the whole episode was him. He had a Chinese friend, and he went over and learned how to like Chinese food, and the whole episode.
I don't remember this at all.
Me neither.
Look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't have time. Ray in Georgia.
Hey, the best character was Froggy.
I never
not
was
only
a fucking...
not only the voice, but the batshit crazy eyes he had.
Yeah, I never was a Froggy fan out of everybody.
I was horrified as a kid. Like, what the hell is wrong with him?
Yeah, I think his dad stepped on his throat to try to fucking get him a new way.
When I was a kid, I saw the 90s movie, and then I went back on like Turner Classics
fucking
movies
horrible.
And watched all the old ones.
The 90s movie. They said that there was a spike in suicides this year. That's how many people hated that movie.
Leah Thompson was Miss Crabtree.
Leah. Oh, there you go again. Love that fucking Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
Remember when she came in with her daughters?
It's phenomenal.
Adorable. Adorable family. My husband, I think, is a producer, like a film producer. That's where I fucked up. I should have been a film producer. And then I'd be Mr. Leah Thompson right now. Look at fucking Froggy. What a fucking freaking nature he is. Why are you just getting pictures and not fucking video? That's where it's all at these days. But Alfalfa was the fucking best.
He's a singer.
Yeah, he could croon.
Ladies, man.
Fuck yeah.
Darla, she's killing it.
Darla and a couple other broads that made Darla fucking nervous. Because Darla would run around with Butch. I mean, she was definitely... And, like, that was like the... Alfalfa was the original cuck. I like Butch and his fucking friend, Wime. Come on, Wime. I'm like, how could you fucking even hang out with him? Treat you like shit. I'd be like, my name is Pete. Okay? It's not Wime. It's a Christian name, Peter. Earl, I'm excited. On Friday, we're going to have Earl the Pearl, and I'm going to tell him that you're his son, Earl the Pearl Jr.
Good company to be in.
See one of your dad's favorites? Because I know your dad loves Walt Clyde Frazier.
He waxes poetic about those classic Knick teams. You can't shut him up about it. That it was like watching a ballet. He was like Dick Barnett and Frazier and
and only one ring in the middle of all that.
They won 2.
2? Well, that's right. They won the next year.
69-70 and then 70-74.
I know. I watched the doc on that, and like the second year, everyone's like, whatever. Like the first year, like, we fucking did it. We fucking did it. Next year, they're like this. Look, I can't go to the party.
I think the second one was a more exciting series too.
For you, it was a more exciting series. Not for them.
That first one when he beat the Lakers, that Laker team was so stacked.
All the teams were stacked back then. Every fucking team. There was only like 12 teams.
Yeah. I remember Frazier was like, when I went up against, he was like Baylor and Chamberlain. He's just rattling off all the guys that were in the starting line.
Every team, they had just massive guys playing.
Yeah, that Laker team, I think all of the starting 5 are in the Hall of Fame.
Of course. One of them is the fucking emblem of the league.
It's true. Jerry West.
I know.
Who was Gail Goodrich? Is that who was the other fucking guy?
I think it was Goodrich.
Earl knows a lot about fucking basketball, breaking every stereotype we have.
I'm going to my first Knicks game of the season next week.
Yeah.
Halloween night. Tickets are cheaper.
Oh, of course they are. You dress it up?
I'm not dressing up to go to the game. I'm wearing a Ewing jersey, but
I'll just say this. Thank you. Now, did you see that the fan is fighting with the Knicks and the owner?
yeah.
It's gotten ugly.
Yeah, like they apparently Dolan banned every MSG person and Nick from an employee from being on the fan now.
Any fucking thing national, they don't deal with the fan or intercom. Their fucking company. Because they attacked Dolan on that stupid Me Too song that he put out. Like I should have known or something like that.
I should have stopped. I should have stopped him.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
He blamed himself.
Because he was best buddies with Harvey, and now Harvey's getting out. He's going to come fucking looking for Dolan.
But
what you fucking sing about me, man? What you fucking sing about me?
He's the most hated owner in sports, and it's been talked about every year. I don't get why he gets so butthurt about this.
I think because it was about his music. You know what I mean?
The music he takes seriously, not owning the Knicks.
Well, he would maybe take it more serious if you would stop buying fucking tickets, but you can't get into that place.
No, I had to wait for a holiday game that's just cheaper than usual, because usually it's like fucking $100 just to buy a ticket in the nosebleeds.
Well, I'm going to go to a game as soon as Michael Che gets the flu.
And Dolan, what he did with Oakley, and he treats the former players like garbage. He also
Dude, careful. I don't want him not to come in here anymore. Me and Earl saw him out on the fucking street last week.
Anything to him, Earl?
I was so mad. I wanted to strangle him.
I was sitting right next to you. You were giggling.
No, I wasn't.
You were.
You shouldn't admit you looked at somebody and you wanted to strangle them.
I just looked
Seriously,
to my right.
this is a fucking bad time for that. Who, didn't somebody, George Soros, somebody put a bomb in his fucking mailbox. Now no one from Congress can go out and get a fucking sandwich either side without people screaming at him. I mean, we're all nationalists. Why aren't we coming together?
We're all living in this country.
That's right. Nationally.
We're on the same side, people.
We're on the same side of the wall. We're all nervous that they're fucking putting ISIS in the middle of that fucking parade.
Yeah, that caravan's fucking filled with a lot of bad shit.
And
apparently.
the caravan is on its way. If fucking Trump would have started singing that last night, he would have got my vote. Just out of nowhere. Turn on your electric light. Fucking mail bomb. What year is this with a mail bomb? I mean, an email.
People don't even check their mail.
I don't even know where my mail is. I'm going to tell you the truth.
He wasn't even home. And then, like,
he wasn't. How many homes does he have?
A bunch.
He's a fucking trillionaire. He's probably got a home in every fucking state.
So, like, one of his employees found the box, opened it, and they're like, what the fuck is this? And then ran into a wooded area of the estate and just put it in the woods and then called the cops.
Well, something stinks about this story.
It's very strange.
I don't want the mailbox to blow up, so I'll take it out and put it in the woods.
In the woods of all. Like, why would you fucking carry it around for any amount of time if you fucking know it's like a bomb or something?
Maybe there was pets in the fucking house and he wanted to fucking blow up his tarantula.
Maybe the mailbox was a family heirloom.
Look, let me tell you something I've learned about detective work. Take a breath before you start fucking running things out. So you're saying this guy did it?
I'm saying that employee better be looked into because only the person who made the bomb would know they can run around with it into the woods.
That's not necessarily true. Some people panic when they see a fucking bomb.
If I see a fucking bomb, I'm not running with it, running around.
Look, if you were my partner, we were two detectives, I'd go, just shut up when we get in here. Just have your hand on your gun and fucking don't say a word. Mail bomb. You should have fucking known he's not opening up his own mail.
People really don't like Soros.
I got a thing that's like about redoing my license. Like if I go down there, my picture of my license is in color, but if I don't, it's in black and white. I'm like, do I really want to go all the way down there for a color license?
No.
But then I think it works better when you're getting on a plane. Like, oh, your license is in color. Go ahead.
I don't think. I think the black and white will be fine. You don't want to go to DMV.
He doesn't even have a fucking driver's license, so he wouldn't know.
I have had to get learner's permits before. Okay.
You had to get one learner's permit. I don't think you've got multiple.
I had to get 2. I had to get a new one because the other one expired.
You're a fucking grown man.
I know, man. I know. It's bad. Remember the last time I got a learner's permit, they were like, you can have it for 4 or 8 years. And I said, I'll probably have a license within 4 years. I don't need the longer version. And then fucking, I don't know, it's been 7.
I thought a fucking learner's permit was 6 months or something. And it was for children.
I'll be going to the DMV eventually to get
I'm telling you, people listening around the country are like, what the fuck happens there?
I'm sure they do.
Earl, you do have a license though, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember you used to drive the NEW van.
Yeah.
Very slow.
I took driver's ed in high school, but I only used it to drive the driver's ed car home. Like, I would convince the teacher every day, like, wouldn't it be cool if we just drove up to the Upper West Side and then I'd hop out the car?
Yeah, that's why people get cars. No, Victor, I don't think fucking George Soros is a congressman, but watch the rest of the news. Anytime a fucking senator or a congressman goes out, Republican or Democrat, people are screaming. Well, you know what? That fucking coffee has me on edge. It's not you, Victor. It's me.
Strong
Mr. Badhead says this. With this contest, it would be hard to pick the dumbest producer of the day.
I vote Earl.
Remember, dumbest, not laziest, dumbest. Earl could do it, he just refuses. Artie Lang got hospitalized, but I think he's okay again. Now, the gig that he had to cancel is the one that I'm doing. Is it next week?
That would be...
When I go back to Poughkeepsie?
Back to Poughkeepsie, that's November 3rd. Yes, that's next Saturday, November 3rd. The Laugh It Up Comedy Club in Poughkeepsie, New York. laughitup.net for tickets.
Now, that's the show at night. During the daytime, they're having a parade for me. Local Boy returns, and I'll be waving to people. The only problem is they're trying to find a fucking convertible. Nobody has one. I'll sit on top of the SUV. I don't care. Or if you have a truck, I'll get in a rocking chair like Granny. Just be rocking back there like so mad I don't want to move. Oh, that's going to be a great night when I get back to Poughkeepsie. What's the name of this place?
The Laugh It Up Comedy Club. Laughitup.net for
Puts
tickets.
a lot of pressure on me, though, doesn't it? Oh, this is exciting news. Amy Schumer going to have a baby.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Big baby year.
Well, she won't have it this year.
That's how math works.
Yeah. Use your math. Oh, and there's a write-up about Julie Louis-Dreyfus and her big night when she got Mark Twain Award, which I haven't got one yet. Seems kind of stupid. I haven't got one. I'd like to just get one for Chris insults. A lot of people are mad at Alec Baldwin and Kim Kardashian for using the wrong pronouns and also using a dead name with Jenner.
Or Caitlyn versus Bruce.
Please don't even bring up that fucking name. That causes a lot of pain. That's a dead name. You fucking dead naming somebody if you say their old name and using the wrong pronoun.
But when you talk about
there is
Caitlyn,
no Bruce. You're now saying Caitlyn Jenner won the fucking men's
that doesn't make sense.
Gold medal for decathlon. What do you mean it doesn't make sense?
I mean, it just
doesn't make sense that somebody should figure out their own sexuality.
That makes sense. I just feel like it all depends on the time of the name that was registered on the Olympic ballot.
Oh my God! There's no Olympic ballot. All right, there's not judges picking out the decathlon. It's done on skills competition.
It's like when they say Ali, Muhammad Ali. They never Say when he won the title, he won the title. They don't say when he was Cassius Clay.
Yeah, no one goes back and when Cassius Clay won the fucking Olympics. You got Muhammad Ali won the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
And with Ali, you referred to him as she, even when she was Cassius Clay, which is a dead name. We're not even saying anymore.
Now it all makes sense to me.
Yeah. But they did an entire show where they were fucking up. It was just the two of them sitting, just staring at each other, 10 o'clock at night. I put it on, only watched for a little while, and I'm like, can't hear about fucking. He opens it up, he's going like this. Remember when you were a kid, when you were young? I told you were pretty enough to be a movie star? This is fucking uncomfortable.
Fuck.
She never did become a movie star.
No, she was in one or two like small cameo appearances.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she was in some. She had a weird cameo on some movie where she played like an assistant. And
Was it Camelot? I got a cameo in Camelot.
I saw this old clip of Justin Bieber on a CSI, and it's probably my favorite celebrity cameo I've ever seen on a show.
I do like a fucking cameo.
Look up Justin Bieber CSI. This is him as a kid, and you got to see what happens to him on this show.
All right.
I didn't even know Bieber ever did any acting at all.
He did this episode of CSI. That 32-second clip.
By the way, nobody's calling that acting. Is this it?
Yeah.
All right. Nice and loud, Earl.
Hands on your head. You're down on your knees.
He's wired. He's got a bomb.
He's all right. There's no bomb. Look, don't shoot. Don't shoot. Ready, fire.
Stay down.
They lit him up.
Yeah, Justin Bieber. And this is young Justin Bieber.
He went out like James Caan. Well, he deserved it. I mean, he went for the gun.
He's lying about that bomb thing.
If someone asked me to do a cameo, I go, okay, should I wear camouflage? Why not? I like when, like, anytime on a fucking TV series, a sports star would show up as himself.
Like on Cheers, they had like an episode where Kevin McHale came in and he helped them figure out how many floorboards were at the Boston Garden.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he helped settle a bet.
You think Kevin McHale was like saying to his wife, hey, you're not going to believe this. I'm being on fucking Cheers. That's always the funniest thing. Was it like Joe Namath on the Brady Bunch or something?
Yeah. And Drysdale did it too.
Don Drysdale?
Don Drysdale.
I thought you meant Mr. Drysdale from fucking Beverly Hillbillies. I'm like, yeah, that's a crossover. That's not a cameo.
And then It's Always Sunny. They had the episode where they were trying to get like Chase Utley and Ryan Howard.
Did they get him?
I don't remember, but I remember like the episode was about meeting them at a fundraiser.
Yeah, but you kind of know whether it happened or not.
They were in the episode. They were in the episode.
That's all you need to say.
Okay.
And it should focus on them, not the fundraiser part.
The fundraiser is what stuck out to me as a fan.
I think the Don Drysdale one, now I'm remembering, is like the Brady kid, one of them, was like telling the kids at school that he was friends with them or something. And then when they found out he was a fucking liar, then the family had to hustle to get him in there for real. Like, we got to fucking take care of your lying brother here. Does anybody know how to get a hold of Don Drysdale? And they're like, was his dad on Beverly Hillbillies? Like, no, it's a different Drysdale completely.
That show Boy Meets World, as a kid, I remember Vader was on it, and as a young wrestling fan, I was really excited.
Did he play Vader?
He played Vader, yeah. He came in and he wrestled one of the kids.
A lot of times that they say, they'll bring like a wrestler and call him Crusher.
like Randy Savage's Bonesaw in that Spider-Man movie.
He was good in that, though.
Yeah, Bonesaw.
Yeah, Bonesaw's here. Not Hogan. It's Thunderlips. Yeah, why wouldn't they call Hogan Hogan?
Well, that was like right before he blew up, wasn't it?
Yeah. When he blew up on steroids.
I was always weirded out that as a kid, he looked younger he looked younger when he got old. Like in the 90s, I thought he looked better and younger than he did in the 80s when he was like
Yeah,
really
that's how
juiced up.
steroids work.
Yeah.
They make you look fucking younger and then you die. If he'd have kept taking them, he would have been a baby. Bum, bum, bum.
Did any of the Yankees do Seinfeld since he worked?
Yeah.
Jeter did it. And
No. Remember the kid who wanted somebody to catch a ball?
Paul O'Neill.
Remember, you had to catch a fucking ball in his hat. That was the last joke. But hit a home run. Could he hit 2? And O'Neill was like, 2's a lot, man. What? And then you want to give him credit for in the park home run?
Yeah.
Because he said it ended with an error.
Curb had Bill Buckner and Mookie Wilson on the episode.
Surprising. Mookie. Hey, Mookie. That's the way Earl used to yell at every Mets game. Earl was fucking born in the right field of Shea. That's where his fucking house was.
You were 10 minutes from the park.
That just went through the Douglas. All right, Travis in Iowa wants to do a correction.
Yeah, the Don Drysdale episode, Greg was playing Little League or something like that and got kind of a big head. And I think the dad brought Don Drysdale home from work to explain to him that you need to stay in school. You're not going to be a famous ball player.
Well, didn't somebody on that show said that they were friends with somebody?
I think it was Namath.
Namath?
Yeah.
I think it was
How
Namath.
would anybody in fucking L.A. be able to get Namath to stop by? You better have fucking pussy for that guy to come into the house. I know that you think that you're doing really good at baseball, but here's a man who tells you that your dreams are shit. Well, you mind? I'm 12. Mind if I live in a fucking fantasy? 3 years ago, I thought a fucking fairy came in here and gave me $1 for a tooth. Damien in North Carolina.
ID, God, yeah, talking about Seinfeld and baseball players. Keith Hernandez, big episode. Where
Oh, that was a great one, too, yeah.
Yep, Jerry's got a man crush on him, and Elaine comes and steals his interest.
I wouldn't even call it a man crush. That was just a flat crush. Jerry would have blown him. That's how much he loved Keith Hernandez. And Jerry was always going back and forth. You with the Yankees or with you in the Mets? Seemed like it didn't matter that much to him.
No. Mets fans still wear Keith Hernandez shirts.
Why wouldn't they?
I mean, let me phrase it. Jerry Seinfeld shirts, not just...
I was at Hooters once in fucking Florida when Keith was still playing. And he fucking comes in and he's wearing these gray slacks. Like, who wears those kind of pants anymore? Had a very standard, like, weird... Like, he was already, like old school with the mustache, gray slacks, and this weird wool fucking jacket. Like, you're in Florida, man.
Lighten up a little.
Who's your favorite Met of all time?
I thought, as a kid, it was Piazza, but David Wright, just growing up with that
Because
from
he
a young
just
age.
fucking retired.
It did
You
hit hard.
Yeah, you bandwagon.
I'm not a bandwagon.
You should be a fucking circus horse pulling the bandwagon.
I mean, but I didn't get to watch Keith Hernandez play, but growing up with him being the broadcaster made me be a big Keith Hernandez fan. And then I have I have a lot of favorite failed players. Like I have a Mike Pelfrey was my favorite pitcher for like 2 years, and I even got a customized jersey that said Big Pelf on the back.
I think my favorite Matt was Hernandez too, because he got so many other guys on drugs. Just try it. We had a fucking doubleheader. We're all exhausted. Try this Coke. Had that fucking big brushy stash that was just fucking Coke laden through the whole thing. I don't think he ever had a problem with it though. Like some of these fuckers.
No.
He's like, I do it every once in a while. What's the big deal?
That's what got him traded. Because he had I think he was part of the big Pittsburgh drug trial too.
No. Earl, what you're saying right now, you could end up being fucking sued for. What is it?
I'm asking to Get some stuff from the
Well,
internet.
this fucking Chris, he's over there. He doesn't have, his entire life is just fucking about chilling.
Chillaxing.
You need some sleep, buddy? There's a couch right over there. Lay down.
Can I lie down?
Yeah. I don't want to see you pushing yourself too hard. He's a good kid, isn't he?
I like original Chris.
I got a message from Crazy Jen, furious with Vinay. Fucking furious. Saying that he's been ripping her on social media. And she's like, I don't care if Jim Norton attacks me.
What?
But not Vinay. I know. Jim Norton couldn't pick her out of a fucking lineup. I don't know why she brought it up. I was just like, okay.
I thought they were improv partners now. I thought Vinay and her had a good thing going.
No, just the opposite. They're going to be in a roast battle, she says. I don't even think Louis J is doing roast battle anymore.
Yeah, has he done pop-ups with it outside the stand?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to check on that. Because I think they're doing pop-ups without him.
Yeah. They were doing they were doing Slate for a while, and then that music place downtown.
What's the small trivia that you're doing?
I'm just remembering stuff.
But it's supposed to be an entertaining show.
Not just facts.
fucking. Yeah, it's not fucking. This isn't a show called New York Real Estate. You see what I got to deal with, Earl, every day?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I want to come in anymore. I'm just going to put up a Ring thing. I saw a new Ring commercial on the other day. I didn't even understand it, but we got to look into it. It was a TV commercial. I think you can find out who people in your neighborhood are with or something. Looks fucking like the future to me. Ring's mission is to make neighborhoods safer. Today, over 1 million people use the amazing Ring video doorbell to help protect their homes. Ring knows home security begins at the front door, but doesn't end there. So now they're extending that same level of security to the rest of your home with the Ring Floodlight Cam. Just like Ring's amazing doorbell, Floodlight Cam is a motion-activated camera and floodlight that connects right to your phone with HD video, two-way audio that lets you know the moment anyone steps on your property. See and speak to visitors, even set off an alarm right from your phone with Ring's Floodlight Cam. When things go bump in the night, you'll immediately know whether you're home or away. The Ring Floodlight Cam lets you keep an eye on your home from anywhere. Ring Floodlight offers the ultimate in home security with high visibility floodlights and a powerful HD camera that puts security in your hands. With Ring, you're always home. Save up to $150 off a Ring of Security kit when you go to ring.com/comedy. Ring.com/comedy. That's ring.com/comedy.
Welcome back to Bennington. Rick Chrome is in studio. For more info.
Where's the big applause for Rick, everybody? Yes. The legend.
I'm up. The sun is up, and I'm inside here.
And for more info about Rick's documentary, Oh Rick, go to orick.com, and the trailer for Oh Rick is available now on YouTube.
Great to see you, buddy. Thank you so much for stopping in.
Oh, my pleasure, man. I've listened to you for a long time here on the Sirius, and we finally got to meet at the Comedy Cellar.
We did. And I didn't even approach you. I was just like, Jesus Christ, there's Rick Chrome. And then you were more bold than me.
I was enamored of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here it is.
Because I didn't know who you were until you spoke, because I had never seen you before.
Is that right? So you're like,
I heard you talking about, that sounds like that guy on the radio. Yeah.
That's why radio is the best.
Isn't it?
It is the absolute best for
People
that.
can fantasize that you're 6'4" and gorgeous with a huge penis. And,
I am. And that's the amazing thing about it. I wanted to talk to you about this documentary.
Oh, yes, sir.
Because I was amazed how entertaining it was.
Oh, thank you.
Not that everything you've done haven't been entertaining, but I think of you, and I've always thought of you as a real show business guy. Because you can sing, you can write music, you're funny, you can host.
I just can't make up my mind what I want to do. So.
Yes.
But I grew up with all of those variety shows like Danny Kaye and Tom, all the famous Dannys, and and I always wanted to do that. So I tried to incorporate that into my act, and all of a sudden,
Then it
here I
worked
am
that
in-
way.
Yeah.
But that was what
Yeah.
people were supposed to do. You
That's
know
what I
mean?
thought.
Yeah.
I thought more was more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one time, everybody was like, okay, did you take your dance lessons yet? Did you do your sword training? But now
Mhm.
everybody's just off into their own one thing to do.
Right. The monology thing became its own little art for or genre by itself.
Yeah.
So anything that came out that you did in addition to that almost seemed like it was not valid. It's like,
Right.
oh, it's not part of the art form anymore. We're just
Yes.
talking now. You know?
Yes, I mean, years ago, there would be like a ventriloquist in the show, a magician, a funny magician in the
Mhm.
show, because you wanted to break it up.
Sure.
But you know who I think was behind that was Jay Leno. Jay Leno had this saying, we don't go to the circus and ask them for 15 minutes. So
Right.
that was and this is before Jay was on the Tonight Show,
Yeah.
when he was just that, you know,
I thought it was Letterman who started it.
Really?
In terms of implementing the policy of if it involves anything other than standing and talking, it's bullshit.
Really?
On his show. That's what I recall.
Right.
I know Leno may have felt the same way and
well,
followed
I'm
suit.
saying this
Yeah.
when Leno was still a club comic. Like
Yeah.
he didn't think they belonged in the clubs. And
Yeah.
Letterman's thing is he was a broadcaster first. He was a radio
Sure.
guy. He was a TV guy. So that's where he puts the emphasis on everything.
Yeah. Plus, they can't do that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, of
Right.
course they hate it because
Yeah.
they can't do it.
But now if you look at Fallon, he's a singer and dancer and other.
Yes,
And
I think it's coming. It's
Yeah.
kind of coming back. Fallon does all of that stuff. He's got all those skills.
right.
And the first person to actually come back and make music a part of comedy and do it well was Bo Burnham, I think,
Yeah.
in recent times.
And now he's
So-
a film director.
Yeah, well,
And he's
what-
bypassing the clubs completely. I don't think he's ever played the club thing. And what did he say
can you
the
blame
other
him?
day that was interesting?
The comedy clubs are filled with too much toxic male energy.
No, there was something that was more than. But anyway, he also said they should all be burnt down, which I was a big fan of. I love that. No, well, also, Rick, I think is another thing that makes it fascinating is the fact are these headphones driving you crazy or
No,
you need-
you're not wearing them, so I thought I wouldn't wear them.
okay,
It's fine.
so-
I just want to make sure I was close enough to the mic.
Yeah.
I like to fit in. I come in. You're not wearing them. Like, well, maybe we're not doing headphones and radio anymore. Just like we're not doing music on comedy shows
Yes,
anymore.
That's
It's just-
exactly right.
I'm so pathetic. I have to fit in.
That is. Have you always been like that though? Have you always like make sure I fit in? Wherever you
Yeah,
go?
I'm a middle child.
Oh,
So there's a lot of sadness there.
Sure.
Just me. Yes, I was doing Me Too before, but it was like Me Too, include Me Too.
Can I have it?
Yeah.
Can I get a sandwich?
Yeah.
Me
No, I
too?
think that actually might even be part of the whole wanting to be an entertainer thing, as opposed to I'm an artist, I'm a renegade, I do it my way, fuck everybody else.
Right.
Can you say that on
Yeah.
this channel?
Now you can.
Yeah.
You just broke
I just
through
did it.
for us, right?
I don't want to be the
You
first
just
one on the
broke
new
through.
channel to do that. No, but so I think that there's the term about being an audience pleaser.
Mhm.
That's a hacky term. Something like, oh, he's just doing anything.
Right.
But I don't know. I think it's better when the audience is actually liking you. But,
I also
call me crazy.
Yeah, that's
I like
old,
when they don't get
that's
mad.
old school.
Yeah, it's old school.
To say I want the audience to enjoy themselves and to laugh. But you,
Well, you're crazy, man.
Yeah,
Goodness.
when you came to New York, the Cellar wasn't really even a big club yet, right?
No, the Cellar. I came to New York in '79, and then with the Chicago City Limits Improv Group, and we were doing that had been doing stand up in Chicago, but I came here and I knocked around for a while. But the Comedy Cellar opened in 1982, and I was playing the piano for the improv group that would occasionally perform there.
Yeah.
And then in 1984, their piano player, because you remember all the clubs back then had a piano player or a band, Charles Zucker, moved out to California, and Bill Grunfest, or the MC, needed somebody to play the piano and sidekick with him. So he asked me to do it, and that's how I a sheer fate got into the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
Of course, they were just a dump back then. They were the new kid on the block. Not a dump, but they were not the
what made it
club is
kick
now.
in? What was the point that the cellar became well respected?
And it was a growing process.
Yeah.
Manny was very insistent on that we have the best comics and that comics don't throw their sets away.
Mhm.
So the quality started getting better, and he also treated the comics very fairly. So I think that around 1992, 95.
So
by that time
years.
we were it took years to build it. We have how many 36 shows
Yeah,
a
it's
week
insane.
now. We used to have one show a night from 9 o'clock till 2 in the morning.
And people
and did
just
2 shows
come
on
in.
Friday, 2 shows on Saturday, and you never knew if we were gonna fill it up or not.
That's so yeah. And
It
then
was funny. the late night. I'd have late night comedians who want to go on after midnight, and they would hang out at the back of the room. And when we started the show at 9 o'clock, they'd come early. We'd had nobody in the audience, so they'd sit in the middle of the room along with the staff to pretend there was an audience. So when people walked in, they didn't leave because there was no audience.
it's like, hey,
so
this is great.
Somebody would go, oh, okay, we'll sit down here, and then the person next to them would stand up and take their drink order.
Could you imagine if you walked into a comedy club and there was no one there and they wanted you to sit down? You're like, I can't put up with that pressure. But it's always funny, like when you talk about how many years going, and then somebody will want to open up a new club and like, I'm going to knock off the cellar. You're like, it's such a tough thing to run any kind of club, any kind of club, and a comedy club is just an insane thing to do.
And I think you need to have consistently good shows. You can't mess around, and you have to treat the customers very well.
Right.
You can't overprice them or gouge them or anything like that. And that was
the
their
other-
plan.
yeah.
And go ahead.
I also can't believe what a well-run club it is. It's just crazy. It's like Disney over there now. They're just moving people in and out.
I can't believe it. We used to have 9 comedians for the whole night. Now sometimes we'll have 7 comedians on one show doing
Right.
10 minutes each.
Yeah.
Just
Who was the hot guys in those days? In the early days, who was?
in the 80s?
Yeah.
We had Seinfeld was one of our regular guys, but more Larry Miller. Remember Larry Miller?
love Larry Miller,
and,
yeah.
Paul Reiser and Rita Rudner, and a lot of the comic strip people. Carol Leifer.
Yeah. And we're talking about with those comics, you still couldn't draw, still couldn't guarantee that room was going to be packed every night. It's insane when you think
No,
about it.
of course they weren't who they were back then. And comedy wasn't really, that boom hadn't really happened yet.
Yeah.
People still going to folk clubs and music clubs and discos. Discos were still kind of
Right.
popular. So people weren't considering that as, let's go to the comedy club for entertainment.
Right. But the strip was very popular uptown, right? The comic strip?
Comic strip, Catch Rising Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the 2 big clubs. And the Improv, the original Improv over on 44th Street.
The owner of Catch a Rising Star has that thing on 72nd Street now.
What is it? 72nd Street.
What is the
Triad
name?
Theater?
Rick Newman has it. What's he called?
The Triad Theater?
Yeah, the Triad Theater.
Oh, I didn't notice he had the Triad.
Yeah. And they have a pretty good gimmick where they bring in stars to read other stars' books. Like you'll come in there and read a biography, and he draws with that. But I mean, that to me, Rick Newman was one of those guys that who knows if stand-up would have even survived if he hadn't opened up that club,
Right. That was. I'm trying to think. Now, I know that Bud Friedman and Silver Friedman had the Improv first. I think that was the mid 60s.
And that was a variety club.
It was a variety club to start. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have singers, mostly singers. It was an after Broadway thing.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, the comic would go on, and then the comics became more popular. But Rick Newman, I think he was the first one to open it. What a great name. Catch a Rising Star.
Yeah, it's
what
amazing,
a great
right?
name.
Yeah.
And all the guys back then from Billy Crystal and Richard Belzer and all of those.
Yeah.
Kind of started up there.
I remember reading an article about Belzer back in the early 80s. It was in Rolling Stone. And it was basically, here's this funny MC, and everybody in New York knows him, but he can barely afford to pay his rent. And I'm like, oh, give me that life. You know what I mean? Like, it fucking looks so cool.
Oh,
you know what
very
I mean?
exotic, yeah.
Yeah, very, very
Okay.
like, oh, this sure beats the suburbs.
Sure, he's sleeping on the street behind the club, but
Yeah.
you know,
I think he
you know,
literally
he gets to
sta-
tell dick jokes for,
Yeah,
for
in this thing,
$17.
He
Yeah.
actually said to the cab driver, "Pull over here. This is all the money I have." Like, he was heading towards the club and realized he wasn't going to have enough money, and then said, "Pull over." And now he's living in France, though. I mean, he's having a lovely, lovely life.
Is he? I don't know him that well. Do you know him that well?
I've had him on a couple times, and of course, I'm a gigantic fan from since I was young. But I guess you were always working the same time he was working.
Right. Our paths crossed many times. I think maybe I introduced him a couple of times. He may have introduced me or something like that.
Yeah.
But I never got to know him because he was cool. I wasn't cool.
Yeah.
I was just a piano hack.
He
I
was
wasn't, but he was
literally
cool.
cool.
He was really cool and mean and a little scary.
Yeah.
A little scary answer. But I never really got a chance to know him.
Right. Well, the thing about Belzer's act is it went straight through the country where people were, if they were emceeing, they were doing a kind of a Belzer, work the room, push it too far. Oh shit, I'm dying. Here comes your next comedian.
Hi, there was that guy. Now, man, let me have a little bit of a mental breakdown in front of you. Question the existence of God and your entire reason for being on this earth. Oh, you're sad now? Okay, let's bring on the guy with the guitar.
But you go through about how to put over a show, how to MC a show, is seeing the show as the whole show.
Yes, I did.
It's almost insane that isn't just the thought process for everybody.
Well, Bill Grunfest, who started the Comedy Cellar, it was his idea to open the club there, taught me everything I knew about emceeing. And his whole thing was, the job of the MC was to make the guests look good. Job of the host is to make the guests look good. And they would, because before that, MCs would compete with the comics, There's that asshole, now 5 more minutes of me. There's that asshole, now 5 more minutes of me. And, but I thought when you approached it that way, you're there all night. The last thing they want to see you do, after about 2 or 3 times up there doing material, they don't want to see the MC do jokes.
Right.
So you had to entertain the crowd with, lots of crowd work and songs and games and I know you're probably listening to it and thinking, boy, that sounds hacky, but it was something other than straight stand-up that would kind of cleanse the palate for the room so that the room was ready for the next comic, that kind of thing. But I think, I don't like MCs who just get themselves more important than the show.
Oh yeah, you've got to, you always have to me, I always think, well, you're coming back. You're going to, you know what I mean? You're going to be there tomorrow night. Not necessarily everybody else is. And that was the old show business thing. That was like, the old variety show thing is like, yes, this person's great because it brought them in, that's why they're great. I'm the one who's core, I found this person, but the other,
I think it's always interesting when sorry to interrupt, but when you are a good MC and you're doing material, then somebody will come up to you after the show and they'll say, you were really funny. You should be a comedian too.
Odd, right? Isn't that odd?
So, like what you were doing was not part of the whole thing. But
and a lot of times,
then you've done your job, though. I think.
Yeah. A lot of times the MC will end up doing more time than anybody else in the show.
Especially if somebody doesn't show up.
Right. But then they're like, oh, I wish I could have seen more of you. But that I guess that means that it's working. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead and do the plug.
Rick Crumb's in studio. For more information about his documentary, Oh Rick, go to orick.com. The trailer for Oh Rick is available on YouTube. And to donate, go to gofundme.com/ohrick.
And it is a lot of fun. And there is a show that a lot of the people who did the Cellar when you guys were doing the Cellar all came back to do this show. And it was like pretty thrilling. Yeah.
The reunion show.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, for those at home.
Yeah.
We did a thing where did like a 25-year reunion, and it was me and Bill Grunfest playing our old roles as the duo MCs.
Yeah.
And we had Ray Romano on the show. We had Jon Stewart drop by, which was a total surprise to me.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart Colin Quinn, Louis C.K., and who else? Greer Barnes was on the show, and Alan Havey.
Wow, all great.
Oh my God,
just a killer lineup.
Unbelievable.
But everybody was really having a ball with that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think they were a little reticent to do it. It was like, oh, what's it going to be? A little show, but everybody had a blast,
right?
Just like the old days. It was like a good high school reunion. Everybody has fun. There's no fights break out.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We covered that in the documentary, but that was. I wish we could have done it like all night long. Done like 4 shows that night, but we only did one.
Yeah,
it was just a golden little moment.
Well, people always say, like at a funeral, when you see people you haven't seen in years, they go, "Oh, we should do this." But it's a happier time.
Yeah.
And that's what it reminded me of. Like, guys.
A funeral. It reminded you.
Yeah. Like, is Artie dead? What happened
What
here?
happened to him?
You all,
Jon Stewart's like, it's nice to see that you two haven't improved after all these years.
Stuart, did you think when he was a kid, like, okay, he's got something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Stewart was interesting because most comics suck for 2 years. Especially when we used to develop them,
Yeah.
But he came in really kind of knowing what he wanted to do. He was like 24, 25 years old. And he was interesting at the beginning, not necessarily really funny.
Yeah.
But he got it. He got the structure right away. And within 6 months, he was really good. Really. And within a year, he was getting booked and doing, opening up for Paul Provenza's HBO special and things like that. Yeah, he shot up like a rocket. But, he's an exception to the rule.
Yeah, most of the time, Murphy kind of exploded when he was a very, very young person. But most of the time, and I know that you teach stand-up, so if you say to people, 10 years, because a lot of times people say 10, it's a nightmarish thing that I think to hear when you're a young person. It's going to take you about 10 years.
Yeah. If you don't do the work and just want to absorb it,
yeah,
it's going to take you time anyway. But I think a lot of people waste a lot of time too. They get there like 15 minutes and then they do that 15 minutes and drink for a year.
Yeah.
And they don't look at it as a business.
Right.
And that's why I think once because you can learn things. You can learn things about stand-up, like structure and things that you're not going to learn unless somebody tells you.
Yeah.
I want you to apply those to your material and really make yourself be hard on yourself. I think you'll progress a little faster, but it's still going to take you 5-7 years to just be comfortable in your own skin, I think.
Yeah. Well, I always think of it this way, too. You got to get back to that person that your friends thought was funny. You know what I mean?
Right.
Immediately, you stop being that guy as soon as you go up on stage.
Sure. And your friends will tell you, go do stand-up. But what they don't tell you is that your friends are providing the context for all the silly shit you do.
Yes.
They give you the setups, and you just come in with a punchline.
Right.
It's like, okay, now you want to be a comedian. It's like, well, you got to do your own context, your own setups.
Yes.
And then do the funny thing. And learning how to do that takes some knowledge and some skills. I tell students all the time that we used to sit at the Improv at night from like 10 o'clock at night to 4 in the morning. Because there were people in the audience at the Improv at 3 in the morning on a Tuesday, a couple of drugs.
Yeah.
And we'd go on for 5 minutes. The MC would put us on for 5 minutes or whatever. But you'd have to pass to get to that status. But in the meantime, for hours, every night you'd sit there and you'd absorb and you'd talk to comedians and you'd say, why isn't this joke working? And you'd listen and it was almost like submersive, like learning a new language.
Yeah.
So that's how we got good, because we were always around it. We were just swimming in it. But now there's really not many places to do that. So ergo, I teach some young people how to structure a joke.
We now Vinay is a young guy who's here with me, and you've actually taught him.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Hey, man, what's good? How you been?
I've been good.
No, he didn't teach me.
I know he was not. He was not part of a class.
Yeah.
You were working with who?
Sean Malay. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
That goofy kid.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. This is the kid who wanted to change comedy.
Oh, is that right? You were going to turn it around.
Yeah, he was 18 years old. He decided that enough of this structured comedy bullshit.
Yeah.
He was just going to do his own thing, and that was going to change the face of comedy. And here he is working as an intern.
As an intern, just 5 years later. But how are you
No.
going to change comedy when you sound and look like Aziz? It's already done.
Well, yeah, the basis is there, but I just have to like mix it up a bit. Like, just be something different. Show to the world that like you don't have to be a part of the structured mold.
Mold.
Yeah.
So you're rejecting everything that Rick's talking about.
No, he's asked me for some advice.
Yeah, I've asked her. It's kind of like what you were talking about.
I've
with
always
Bo.
said, you always want to end with a funny part.
Yeah.
And he disagreed for a while.
What do you want to do? Suck the juice out of the room and then
Yeah.
leave?
No more punchlines. That's the goal.
No more punchlines. It's all attitude with these. But didn't I tell you? No matter what we're doing, we're still doing part of the old structure.
It's all nothing's going to change.
Well, yeah, but there's always a juxtaposition. There's something that sets it up and something that you laugh at.
But
Even if you're telling like long stories, you're at least laughing at the scenery and you're laughing at the way you're doing it. Maybe the juxtaposition is your attitude about the story you're telling. If you're saying you're telling me a happy story in a sad way, that can be funny. That's what makes it funny. So that's why I always say be able to identify why it's funny.
You told me something very interesting when you were giving me advice. You said that every 2 beats, because you used your acting experience and your Broadway experience as like a way to like juxtapose like stand up. You said every 2 beats you should be making someone laugh.
2 beats?
Two moments. Like 2 seconds.
Moments, 2 beats.
I don't think I
have ever said that.
I don't think I phrased it that way.
It's somewhat. You said like every 2 like lines or every 2 like sentences.
Yes. How long do you think you should go without making anyone laugh?
Yeah, that's me.
I mean, if you want to use like strict rules, every 8 to 10 seconds, the audience has got to laugh at something.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's 1 line, 2 lines, or 3 lines, or whatever. I mean, entertain us along the way, or at least make it interesting. If you can't be funny, be interesting.
Where are you from?
Me?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
You should head back, dude. Seriously.
Pittsburgh.
Go back there for a while. They're opening up steel mills again. I saw it on TV last night. We're bringing back industry. You could be there.
And get some asbestos.
Rick, would you ever tell anybody not to pursue their dream? I mean, there's some people that are horrid. Would you say to them, hey, this isn't for you?
Depends on where I meet them. If I meet them like in the first week, no.
Yeah.
No, I would never say that. I'd like, let's work. Let's do the work.
Yeah.
I will say that to them if they refuse to do the work and they just want to fuck around on stage and say, well, let the audience decide what it means. Then I'll say, no, this isn't for you because this requires discipline.
Yeah.
It really looks like it's, improvised and off the top of your head. I go, but man, there's so much structure and discipline that you got to put to it. So I would tell somebody who doesn't want to do the work, no, this isn't for you.
Well, you write plays too, right? And you write
mostly in the musical sense. I write the off-Broadway show Musical the Musical, which is songs and sketches about famous people, things in the news, current trends.
And what is that? What's the difference in that kind of writing? When you're writing that kind of a show, what's the difference than when you're writing monologues?
Well, if you're writing it in a song, then you have all the rules of song structure to accommodate. And you still, with comedy songs, it's really like you're coming up with a routine. Like say, if I have a topic, I'm going to write 5, 6, 7 jokes about that one topic.
Yeah.
And then what I'll try to do is put them in the right order, give them a rhyme scheme, and put them in just like kind of a musical,
right?
Of a stand-up routine about a topic. Bad comedy songs are when you have one joke that repeats over and over and over and over. The one joke. So I combine the two things, but it's mostly it adheres to the same rules.
I was up at the National Comedy Center this summer, and Mark Russell was there. Remember Mark Russell?
I
was
do.
The political.
Is he still? He's still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. He was walking with a cane. But as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, the number of TV shows I saw him when I was a kid. And it would always be something about a bill not passing. I'm like, how do you even thread that needle? Well,
he would do song parodies.
Yeah.
And the parody of what the original song was would somehow be funny the way he put in the words of the bill. I'm trying to think of an example now, but I can't. I can't think of anything.
Either.
But you can go on on YouTube and find the old Mark Russell PBS specials.
Yeah,
and they were pretty corny.
Yeah,
the specials were because he had like 6 weeks or 2 months to put them together.
Yeah,
right. But I saw him live come out and do an hour and a half, and very little musical stuff. Yeah, and it was 90 minutes of monology, and he was great.
Yeah.
So
well, he was, he played literally to a Washington audience.
Yep.
And then whoever was like a political junkie that, I guess there's enough people around the country at that time. Now that shit's on 24 hours a day. If you feel like you don't keep up with it constantly, you're not following.
Well, that's why I kind of pulled off from writing a lot of the news stuff because I got burnt out.
Yeah.
And then it became, with the 24 hours, the news was always so horrible. How you going to write a song about a school shooting, right? I mean, and I always say that the way I'll approach something like that is like 9/11, right? I mean, you can't make fun of the event itself. You got to keep pulling the lens back. So, but the reaction to it, you'll find something funny in the reaction to something horrible.
Sure. So,
airport security got really tight, and they started patting down everybody, including old people. So my line said, okay, well, patting down old ladies at the airport, what if they liked it? Right? So I wrote a song called Felt Up at the Airport. And that was my response to the 9/11 thing.
Yeah.
So I had to go that far away to find something about.
And now somebody would be upset because of the Me Too thing that you were doing felt up jokes.
Well, right. These old ladies, the guard looked just like Cary Grant. So and they were hiding metal objects underneath their clothes so they'd get patted down. Comedy, man.
Comedy. It's working.
The Me Too thing is, I don't know. That doesn't, in my world, that's a little weird. That's,
I was actually telling, because I forget who was asking me about it, but Mateo Lane, I go, well, you're just going to have to wait for my generation to die off, dude. You know what I mean? Like, no one changes at a certain point.
Well, right. But I mean, Mateo and I are both gay. So there's we talk about, just the dynamics of, whipping our dicks out. That's how we say hello.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not.
Well, the night that, the night that we were all down at the olive tree talking, Mateo was weirded out because we were talking about the fact when in the past, sometimes it could be more exciting if you're an outsider. And he later was telling me, like, that's the last thing I'd ever want to think about, The fact that there was a time when gay sex would have been more exciting, somebody brought up at the table, because it was strictly taboo. And when things are taboo, and he was
absolutely.
Yeah. His, and I think the younger guy, he disagreed 100%.
Well, he's probably 30 years younger than I am.
Yeah.
And, but he grew up at a time when being accepted and was more part of the
right.
You went to high school and you could be. Oh, they have a gay club at a high school.
Yeah.
Doesn't when I was growing up.
No. When I was growing up, and this is true, there was certain people I didn't allow to know that I had David Bowie albums. That's how.
That's how homophobic you were.
You had to go,
God.
oh shit, because they, the boy people would react.
Right.
It was a different thing.
And men were brought up to be very protective of their masculinity in such an insecure way. Guys didn't, hey, young people, guys didn't hug in 1965 or 1970.
No.
When you guys, you meet each other, you're like, hey, how you doing? Bring it in, dude. And, and they hug each other, and sometimes they'll, give them a little squeeze or a little bro job.
Right.
But not. Yeah. And it's like, and it's not, we're not gay, but no, we didn't have that. You weren't allowed to touch each other. I remember this is how it was. My dad, when I was 5 years old, would shake my hand.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, come here, let me pick you up and kiss you and hug you like a parent, because Men didn't do that with
You
men.
wouldn't do it.
Oh, shake your hand, son. There you go. I'm glad we could close this deal. Now go help your mother wash the dishes.
I'm glad we can close this deal. As your father, I'm very happy with your progress.
Yeah, very well.
Remember, your dad would call you in to
Right.
check on your progress.
Time
of
for your
different
quarterly
things.
report, son.
Yeah.
Let me.
Chris, you're going to plug?
Of course. Rick Chrome's in studio. For more info about his documentary, Rick, go to orick.com. To donate, go to gofundme.com/orick. And the trailer for Rick is available on YouTube.
It's a really, really terrific documentary. He also, there was a Louis show that you did that, it kind of went through the roof, didn't it? It was one of those things that everybody was talking about.
Here's how that happened. I don't know how much time you have, but
all the time.
All right. These stories, because you were talking about telling gay sex stories at the poker at the table at the cellar. It used to be that they would ask me, the other comedians, all of these intimate questions, and I would just tell them, and then they would squeal like little girls. Like 12-year-old girls. Oh, my God. You asked me, so I'm telling you. Louis thought that was hilarious. Then there was some other stories in the poker table scene. If you go online, you'll find out what they are. But they and he remembered them. And he said, I think I want to put those stories in the show. And so he was like 8 episodes into filming already. He said, tell me those stories again. So I did. And he said, would you mind basically playing yourself? We'll put it around like a poker table or something. I said, sure. And then he went and wrote this script, and I got a call. Okay, we're going to shoot this on Monday. So I had to learn all these stories, my stories, in his words.
You had to learn it for the show.
And then also he embellished it. He added a lot of things on it because at that time he was having a little bit of a controversy in his own life about using the word faggot. So he incorporated it all into a scene. So it's called the poker table scene, Poker Divorce on YouTube, if you want to look at it. And but while we were shooting it, I thought, oh my God, this has never been talked about on TV before. And we had no idea how it was going to just take off. All of a sudden it became huge. And FX moved it to the 2nd episode.
Is that right? Yeah. They moved it up.
They said this scene really captures the tone of Louis' writing and of the show, talking about forbidden topics. We had done a dirtier version, and he went back and cut it. They said we'd like, we'd keep it the way it is. If you can cut it and take out some of the swear words, we'll do the first scene after the pilot. We'll do that. So he did that, and boy, I'll tell you that took off like the press were calling me, and it was.
I thought the interesting thing too is DePaulo.
That's our relationship, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, DePaulo wasn't as comfortable as the other guys were, and then he also felt like it was a little. And I know that he says that Louis puts him into that, but I know him as well, so I don't see this as being the character, Nick. But but he was like a little uncomfortable with it, but you could see how much that you had, fine feelings for him.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that is our relationship where we disagree about a lot of stuff and we bust each other's balls, but we really respect each and like each other.
Right.
And so we try to capture that on the film. I mean, at the end of that scene, I kiss him on the head.
Yeah.
Now, I would never do that in real life, but I had to do that for the scene because I just had to acknowledge the fact that he lets me get away with it.
Yes.
I kiss him on the head, and then all of a sudden I'm part of the group again. And that's what we really want to capture, is that nobody's an outsider in that world, in the world of comedy. If you're the gay guy, that's fine. You're our gay guy.
Right.
If you're the racist right-wing nut, you're our racist right-wing nut.
And if you're Rich Voss, everyone's going to put the boots to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That does have a great place, right? That this could actually bring down some tension, because I know with Patrice, there's still a lot of young people that are afraid of that table, but I think that's all kind of dispelled itself, don't you think? The way it used to be with the ball busting, the constant ball busting.
Yeah. It's Patrice was something.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got on Patrice's radar,
yeah,
and he was going to come after you, it was he could be unpleasant, but everybody else would be laughing. But if you were on the receiving end of it,
it was tough.
Yeah. I mean, I like Patrice too. But he used to get under people's skin.
Sure,
and it was hilarious to watch. The funniest thing I ever saw was this argument because Nick and Patrice would go at it.
Yeah.
Have you heard this story? You probably heard this story. They're arguing back and forth, and Patrice goes, "Black people built the pyramids," and Nick went, "Yeah, they were supposed to be square." It was a heated argument.
Yeah,
it was a heated argument, and then everybody just had to laugh their heads off because, like, oh well, we got to give you that one.
That's fucking brilliant. Right. He's so funny. He's so crazy funny. Go ahead. And a lot of this shows up. This is, of course, Brick's story, but it is also this story about the cellar and New York City and show business, and everything is kind of laid out there. I
it was
found
weird because we didn't
fascinating.
know. Oh, thank you. We
Yeah.
didn't know what it was going to be. Basically, this fellow thought I was a good linchpin to talk about all the different things I do. Me, just in comedy, also in Broadway, and it was going to be like a Renaissance man kind of thing.
Right.
And then we realized there was such a great history between me and the cellar.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole world as we brought all that into it. And now comedians really love this documentary because they get to see, it's like going back in time and watching the evolution of how these things came to be.
Yeah.
And from just as a comedian standpoint, you should want to see it.
That's also what you do with your teaching with young people, is to let them know some of these examples of how people built themselves or built their acts, and what you have to commit to. But it's a different New York City even now.
Oh, remember when New York was dangerous?
Yeah. It was a very, very dangerous place. And people would, people think that you were tough if you just visit it. Like if you say, "Hey, I'm going to New York," it was like saying, "I'm going to go to Lebanon now." Like
I may not see you again.
Yes.
So I'm having a going away party. I'm going to New York for a day on a theater trip. I may not survive.
Right. Everybody felt that way, and that was just even Times Square, where they're going. It was frightening.
When did you work the old Improv?
Well, I showed up there and did some stuff a long, long time ago, and it was insane. Yeah,
because 9th Avenue, Hell's Kitchen was really Hell's Kitchen. I had an apartment, little studio on 49th between 10th and 11th, which was just terrible over there.
Yeah,
and the Improv was at 44th and 9th, so I'd walk from the Improv back to my apartment, but I wouldn't walk on the sidewalk because every doorway had somebody in it that was up to something.
Right,
and so I'd walk in the street.
You would walk down the center of the street.
Not the center of the street, but I'd walk. I was crazy, but I'd walk in the street by the parked cars. You used to be able to park in New York, by the way.
Yeah,
you could park on the street. So I walked by the parked cars and I'd walk all the way up to 49th Street because you never knew who was going to pop out at you and either try to sell you drugs or cut you or blow you.
I was just telling these guys, what was the name of that movie I was watching today before I came in?
State of Grace.
State of Grace, Sean Penn. I don't know whether you've ever seen it.
No, I haven't.
But it was about 1990, so it would have been shot in the late 80s. Literally your neighborhood, and every building must be gone on 10th and 11th. You know what I mean? Every building that was there in the movie is no longer there, and there's something else.
They put the Worldwide Plaza up there.
Yeah.
They tore down that entire block.
Yeah.
And remember there was I guess Koch was mayor.
Yes.
So anything, it was like anything goes.
Anything, it was wide open.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of miss the old New York sometimes. And other times I go like, well, thank God.
I romanticize it too. And I don't know whether you're just romanticizing youth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it's
really exciting when you're 22.
Yes. I don't know. How some people stayed. You know what I mean? Some people stayed. And even over in my building, I had people say to me, "Oh, in the 70s, there would just be a line. And it was for drugs. The super was selling drugs. People that lived in the building." And that the fact that was an acceptable thing, that you'd pay rent, but your super is letting drugs sales take place. And that's his extra cash.
The policy was just, we'll contain it.
Right.
It's like, well, you're containing it to Times Square.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does contain the policy?
Yeah, you're going to contain it to the place that every tourist comes into. Fascinating.
And the after hours clubs.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you young people, you don't know what we had. The after hours clubs, the sex clubs. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
All that stuff. I always tell this to people is like they were like drugs and sex in Times Square, but not the drugs you wanted to do or the sex you wanted to have.
No.
There were.
No. But you were up, so what the hell?
Yes, you might as well.
You might as well. It's all you were going to get.
Well, you got a plug, Chris?
Yeah, Rick Chrome, his documentary, Oh Rick. Go to orick.com for more information. Go to gofundme.com/ORick to donate. And the trailer for Oh Rick is available now on YouTube.
Chris, every time I look up, you got a paper and you're leaning like this. And I'm like, go. It's like seeing a new skier. And he's not sure if he's going down the hill or not. By the way, I see Mateo. I see the younger guys asking Mateo the same damn questions that you were getting too.
Oh, do you?
I saw Mike Vecchione is asking every time I'm with them. Mike Vecchione is asking Mateo, and Chris DiStefano was, and they're like, "It must be great to be a bottom because you don't have to do anything." I'm like, this is what you guys are getting. I go, this is all.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You have to take a dick in the ass. What do you mean you don't have to do anything?
I go, you're the two laziest men I've ever seen in my life. Earl, do you see yourself as a top or a bottom? And I know all black guys are on the, as you call it, the DL, right?
Yeah, I'm always a topper.
I don't know.
He's a top.
Yeah, he's a top.
I could tell.
You think?
Well, I don't know the man.
But just from look, could you look at people and know?
You can kind of guess.
Yeah,
you don't always know.
Yeah.
You don't always know. You're always surprised. Sometimes it's the big, hairy, beefy guys who are like, "All right, stick it in." Is it what?
Yeah, right. Just like you find out, like a lot of CEOs want to be spanked and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
Yeah,
yeah,
because they just want to give up the control for a while, right? Like, I don't want the control.
Yeah, being submissive, I think, is a big fantasy.
Yeah.
For people. So yeah, I think maybe do see a lot of that. If anybody's listening, I'm also a top, so I won't
take care
be
of everything.
You know, but I'm actually I'm old, so I'm kind of a sideways. I just kind of want to lay there, and whatever gets touched gets touched. I don't need to do a lot of work.
And you're not turning off the TV. At this point, leave the TV on.
Something might happen. Well, you're talking about distracting. I have actually said this before. Because one of the curses is because you never realize what your age is when you're a middle-aged gay man.
Yeah.
So I do wind up with a lot of these younger guys, 20s, 30s, that kind of thing. And what they see in me, I don't know. I guess I'm just charming. But they get very easily distracted. And this line has come out of my mouth. I said, "Look, I'm sucking your dick. Stop texting." Stop text.
Yeah.
What could possibly be better than this?
Right.
It's like, oh.
But you feel like
I'm on my Insta.
Do you?
I'm in your balls.
Yeah.
Come on.
Do you ever date age appropriate, or is it always younger?
I would say mostly younger.
Yeah.
Because I'm dead inside.
Right.
So the idea
you
of
need life.
Dave, they say, "Rick, are you going to get?" I had a partner for many years. He's dead.
Yeah.
But I had the idea of actually, I don't know, the idea of having somebody my own age and settling down and retiring together, I would rather kill myself.
Right. That doesn't interest you at all.
Not at this point.
You have more in common with Trump than I ever thought.
Huh?
You and Trump.
Why is that? How did we get to that?
Well, you want a young foreign person.
I don't want to put him in a cage. That's a whole other club.
That is hilarious. So.
Oh, you mean like Melania?
Yeah, I was thinking Melania.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I see
definitely
what you mean.
Trump's thing. Is he's like he wants some young candy on his arm wherever he's going. Yeah.
Then straight guys ask me that question. I go like, "Well, don't you?" So, oh yeah. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the? But no, I don't talk to them. I mean, it's not like it's like, come over, we'll do the fantasy, and you're gone.
And then you're out.
And then you're out.
Yeah. Do me a favor, take the trash out on the way down.
Yeah, and then let the other guy up.
What is it, Chris? This is the plug thing. It's every 5 minutes, but it's the annoying leaning. What else do you have to say besides the plug?
I just want to make sure we
be
get the plug
involved.
out.
Be involved.
All right. Okay. Well, let's look. Rick Chrome. Go to orick.com for more information about the documentary. GoFundMe.com/orick to donate.
Yeah, we got to raise money for worldwide rights.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clips in that film that have got to be paid for.
Oh, some of the TV clips and
A lot
stuff
of the
that
TV
you've done.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they bought the rights for the festivals, but
right.
Who knew this ran into money? So,
yeah, everything is money.
And Dustin
right?
Sussman, by the way, is the man who made it. Dustin Sussman and Aaron Rosenblum. We've been talking about the film,
right?
And they made the film. It was their idea. It was Dustin's idea, and he's out in L.A. He works for a lot of independent productions, and it's his film.
Was there anything difficult about you and it's your life to kind of give up that control though and say, here,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have tough time.
I can't
with that.
watch it. I mean, I can't watch it anymore. I've seen it maybe 3 or 4 times, but now I can't because there's so much stuff that you think, there's always a caveat to everything. Yeah,
Right.
but that's not the whole story. And
Right,
it's just
right.
like, yeah, but it really didn't. But I'm not that bad. And
Well, there was a thing where you were somewhat the butt of a very funny joke, but it became a legendary and got,
the Miss Florida story you're talking about.
Yeah, the Miss Florida story.
Oh, yeah. I know he told me he wanted to do it, and I said, absolutely not. You're not putting that in the film. You are not putting that in the film. And I fought him for months on it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, fine, go ahead.
Now, and I don't want to give the joke away because it made me laugh, but I cringed for you because you could see that it was out of your control.
Right. Totally.
And then, and then when you went to see John Manfrotati, who was basically in on it, it was also out of his control by that point.
Right.
Even though he was the guy who told the initial story. And that's what happens with stories, right?
It goes out, right.
Yeah.
It's, God, I can't talk about it without giving it away, but.
Yeah, it's up to you.
But it's.
Yeah.
Well, all right, I'll tell you. They had. Maybe I'll tell you the story, then you'll give money, and then we'll get the goddamn thing distributed. But no, it was, they heard me talking to my then partner who was at home watching the Miss America pageant.
Yeah.
Right? And as a story, I didn't even remember this happening.
Yeah.
But as the story goes.
The World Series was on.
It had to be the playoffs because. As we all know, the Miss America pageant is September, so it could not have been the series.
Yeah.
I keep telling people that. It wasn't. I don't know. And he was saying, and my partner used to talk a lot. Talkity talk, jab, 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 jab. You straight guys think that women talk? Anyway, he's going on, and he's, I'm watching this. It just ended. Oh, who won? He said, oh, I'm Miss Florida. I went, oh, Miss Florida. Okay. Just kind of repeated what he said. I said, well, John Manfrotati's off to the side, and he hears me say, who won? He immediately thinks, oh, Rick's into sports. And then he hears me say, oh, Miss Florida. And he laughs. He goes, oh, it's the Miss America. So he takes the story over to whoever he told it to. And then they started embellishing. And then it wasn't, oh, Miss Florida. It was like, Miss Florida? What? All of a sudden, I'm this big screaming queen, which I am not,
Right.
And if I was, that would be fine. But Miss Florida, I was like, oh, God, now I have to deal with that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And
but
so,
everybody loves this story.
Everybody loves it because it's a good story.
For you.
Except for me. I don't like it.
And they have it like, they tell it from the point of baseball.
Yes.
And then you say Miss Florida. So
Right.
we're all expected.
If you told that as a joke.
Right.
Yeah, I heard my gay friend on the phone was saying, oh, who won? And I said, oh, my friend's into sports. And he went, Miss Florida. That would be the joke.
Right.
That'd be the laugh. Right.
Yeah.
So.
It's very funny because you're saying you hate if someone uses that. And women get this all the time too. When somebody said, my wife said, baby, and they'll go into just the generic, and black people get it too, Earl. It's still the 70s jive voice for black people. And that's when people always get pissed and stuff because it isn't on. But my old radio partner, Fez Watley, he did a gay character for years and years and years. Then one day in therapy, found out that he's gay.
Oh, what a surprise.
And hated his own character, and it became this.
He found out in therapy?
That's...
Wow.
Yes. Now, I had known it.
I'm pretty sure he had some suspicions.
Yeah. I had known it from the moment I met him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why the character was developed for radio the way that it was. But he suddenly didn't like any of those kind of jokes anymore.
It's an epiphany you go through.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of those characters, too.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, you could say, oh, it's a stereotypical voice. I used to call it, when you do that kind of gratuitous thing, pandering. The character I came up with was Steppin' Faggot. So you're doing
everything,
every cliche.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a gay comedian. How are you?
Yeah.
So I think that's a natural progression. You make fun of the thing that you fear that you are,
right?
And but I'm also a realist. The cliche voices exist.
Yeah.
So are you being homophobic or sexist or racist, or if you happen to use something that exists? I think if you use it in a negative way, then maybe you are. But should you never do it? I don't know. I mean,
right. Who wants to give up the laugh? That's the weird thing.
Well, right. So what kind of laugh is it? Like I do this bit of my act now about how some of us. Because I'll do a joke and then I go, oh, the audience. This is my favorite part of the show where the audience says, oh, wait a minute, I think he might be serious. Is it possible he doesn't have the gay voice? And I say, listen, we don't all get the gay voice. I got the announcer voice, which doesn't work in a lot of gay situations. How are we getting to your place? In my new car. But some people do get the gay voice. Like my friend Billy. Billy is 6'4", 320 pounds of hair and muscle. He goes to the bar. You think he's going to say, if I don't get a whiskey, I'm going to kill somebody. But what comes out of his mouth is, it's my fourth mimosa. I'm so bad. Billy, you've had enough. You're mean. So I do the the joke.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. Greer Barnes used to do something that was not offensive, but it was a very effeminate voice. Mm-hmm. Jon Stewart used to do this thing, but he never used an effeminate voice. It was just like letting gays into the army. And it's like, I'm not sure if it was a good idea. I'm paraphrasing the joke. I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not. It's like, shoulder, shoot that man. I can't. Why? He's adorable. But he would do it in his own voice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we can all lighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
Have a sense of humor about ourselves.
Well, I mean, there's certainly a change taking place, and we don't know where it's going. You know what I mean? Like, the younger people have a different aesthetic. They really do about a lot of these things.
I think that if you listen to them, they've been conditioned now, a lot of them, that if it can be offensive, therefore it is offensive. If you point out a difference between one person and another, they go, oh, you're pointing out a difference, therefore I'm offended. And it could be something as simple as a cultural difference.
Sure.
It could be if I'm talking about how many how popular Barry Manilow is in the African American community. Well, I mean, not very, right?
Yeah.
Is that a stereotype? Is that but you can't say this about that, or I know. I think people will lighten up a bit. Right now, they're in college and they're all kind of this knee jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be offended. Not only am I going to be offended for me, I'm going to be offended for somebody I know who might be offended by that. That's got to be exhausting.
It is. It does look like you have to be on guard. I mean, when people came out and were like mad at Bette Midler not too long ago. No one has done more for progressive ideas than Bette Midler. You're and that's the funny thing. They're eating their own. Okay, Rick, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thank you.
You were so much fun, and we got to do this again, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, Chris, now you really do get the plug.
Rick Chrome's been in studio. For more info about Rick's documentary, Oh Rick, go to orick.com. And to donate, go to gofundme.com/ohrick. And the trailer is available on YouTube for the documentary, Oh Rick. Welcome back to Bennington. Jesse David Fox is in studio. Good One, a podcast about jokes, is available now on Apple Podcasts. This week's guest is Chris Gethard. And almost sold out is the Padma Puts On a Comedy Show, an evening to benefit the Movement Voter Project. That's happening tomorrow night at the Bell House in Brooklyn. Go to thebellhouseny.com for tickets. And it's going to feature Michelle Wolf, Nikki Glazer, John Early, Roy Wood Jr., Joe Firestone, and more.
How long is Padma doing?
She's doing a tight 5 at the beginning. I was thinking about, she's going to say, when I asked her to do it, she very calmly was like, you can put my name on it and I will say few things at the beginning and then sit down. And I was like, so you're not going to do any jokes? Like, I will not do any jokes. I'm trying to think of things she can say as like an opening line.
Right.
Padma walks out, just be like, I am also surprised I'm here.
Yeah.
Something just to be like, isn't this weird that this show exists?
What was her big show?
She's Top Chef.
Top still? Yeah. Is that still happening?
Top Chef. Now I'm promoting Padma's things. Top Chef Kentucky out in February or whatever. December.
I gave up on the Food Network. I used to watch it.
It's on Bravo.
Is it?
It's on Bravo.
I gave up on Bravo too.
You gave up on all of them.
Yes. I really don't watch. You know, us millennials, we do a lot of stuff offline.
Yeah, you're just streaming YouTube clips of people cooking, so you don't need full narrative.
I literally want to get rid of Hulu now, and I'm not sure how to do it. Because the other day, I went through, and I didn't know there was a Broadway channel that you could watch Broadway plays.
Like full shows?
Yeah.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Now I want to resubscribe to it.
Yeah. So I saw this, I'm like looking at this Kevin Kline thing that was running. I'm like, what is this? And it's the Broadway thing that and I'm like, well, and they go, we'll give it to you free for a month and then you're on. And I go, if I'm going to do that, Hulu's out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like that thing where you have only so much room in your brain, so everything in has to push something else out.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I'm getting my Hulu thing. I mean, a lot of times I forget I have it.
I think Hulu's the gym memberships of streaming services.
Right,
like they really are like just enough that you're like, well, I think, I mean, if it wasn't for my work, I don't know if I'd have Hulu, but I'm like, well, it's like how I watch shows that are on the air.
Right.
Where like, but you know, it's like when you're looking for a movie, you always go on Hulu and you're like, these are the movies Hulu has?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm always like, well, these movies are so old that Hulu has.
Yeah.
But
It's only fair use movies. It's all pre-code era films or whatever.
I saw Instant Pulver was on there the other day, and then that that was a really obscure one. By the way, I just heard from Netflix. They're offering Padma 3 different specials.
She's going to do, we're filming it. It'll be on Netflix. To be fair, afterwards I'm going to be like, hey, Padma, maybe we should
do something with this when you're done with the Kentucky Top Chef.
It was so funny. Asking her to do that. She was very open to the idea. Like she's into comedy, but she's just like, people are surprised I like comedy because I'm so serious in my. It's like I was surprised, but you know, she tweets the comedian she likes, and I think it started because she was mad when Louis came back to the cellar.
Yeah,
she's like, there are other comedians. Hear herself.
No. She says here because I read it. Here's 20 different comics or whatever better than Louis, and I was going through and going, nope. You can be as mad as Louis as you want, but these are not 20. It's like me saying, here's 20 Brooklyn bands that are better than Guns N' Roses and AC/DC. No, they're not. They're just not.
They are different.
Yeah.
They're new. They're young. They're fresh.
Yes. All those things are true, but none of them are better. Even the people that you have in your show, and you got some heavy hitters, none of them would say that they're better than Louis.
No, I think they would. What I will say that, and the heavy hitters included of the lineup, they are. It feels exciting to have the shows. The first show sold out in a couple hours, and we're like, oh, I guess we have to do a second one because it's like, oh, this is an exciting lineup to see because it is new. I mean, like Michelle had a show, but like all these people were like, it feels very now, and I think that is what she's ultimately saying, which is like, let's move on already. There's other comedians. Right. There is a good comedian. His name was Louis C.K., but he had his time.
Yeah, don't speak for Padma. She has to own this, just like she makes a chef own what they're doing. That's what she put up. Here's 20 different chefs better than, I forget the Italian guy who.
Mario Batali.
Yeah.
Maybe. I bet you can do that.
I would still go like this. This is delicious, though. Mario still makes delicious food. I've never been to one of his restaurants and not.
Oh, I thought you said you've never been to any of his restaurants.
No, I haven't.
Like,
and not enjoyed it. I mean, it was a little gropey for me. I'm trying to enjoy myself.
They insisted on feeding you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I think I can handle it. It's like, no, we prefer it this way. I think, they're all good. That's the thing. Like, he was, before all these allegations, I think he was like the one TV chef who consistently made good restaurants.
You know, I'm going to tell you something else. Emerald always had good restaurants. The only one who didn't have good restaurants is the fucking Flavortown guy, who is why I don't watch the Food Network anymore, because he's 24 hours. He's the Kardashians of the Food Network.
I think I have come around. Have you heard the Shane Torres bit about him?
Yes.
So I think that bit came out. I remember I saw him open for Kyle Kinane, and I saw him do that joke, Shane Torres, and I was like, oh, this is a game changer. Whenever this is ready, I need to help magnify. And then Vulture had the exclusive on that track, and people are like, oh, I guess he is kind of like not a bad guy. I mean, his food sucks, but like, he seems cool as hell.
No, he's not. And you know what? A joke can be funny, but it never has to be true. But I think Shane's incredibly funny.
Yeah.
But that I've heard from people, that's why Bourdain killed himself. Shane Torres basically, and I blame this on Vulture too, they put so much pressure on that man.
By that Guy Fieri thing. I call him Fieri. I'm so in the pocket.
Yeah.
I'm so in the pocket of big guy Fieri that I call him his fake name.
Yeah.
Fieri's not even his real name, and Fieri is not, and I call him the fake name.
I just call him Flavortown. I don't know the whole pronunciation of it all. And what is his thing? Is it monkey sauce? Donkey sauce?
Donkey sauce.
Donkey sauce.
Yeah, you know what it is?
It's just horseradish, right?
Yeah, horseradish and mayonnaise. Donkey sauce.
Yeah, just like donkeys used to make.
Right. But Shane could say that because he's at a place where comes from a place where people eat bad food. But you know what I mean? Like for them, they're like, this is great.
He's been living here for a while, but yes.
No, but where he's from.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I know you love red states and that's your thing now, and I dig it. You know what I mean? I am a nationalist. You know, as we all know, I'm a nationalist. But where's Padma from?
Oh, where is she from?
She's from Iran. No, wasn't she married to the?
She's married to Salman Rushdie.
What went wrong with those two if they can't make it?
I think it was no, I'm really speaking for. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was. You know, I think they're still on good terms, but it was sort of like it was also I think around the time maybe when he had that fatwa, or maybe I just sort of merge all things I know about Salman Rushdie into one fact.
Right, that's true. Well, good for them. Well, you know what I mean? It's good.
Good for those kids.
Yeah, they're staying together for the children. I don't even know if they have children. They're staying together for the appetizers.
Yes.
God bless them for that.
They're looking up Padma. It's the different Padma. That's the Padma from Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You went. Oh, that's kind of racism. You're lucky you're black because you can get away with it.
All Padmas are not the same Padma.
I always say this, blacks can't be racist. And I think...
that is the thing lots of people say. I didn't know you also say it.
I say it because they're the only ones that can use the N-bomb.
And that's the definition of racism for you.
It is. I think it's a real, like Earl, I'm sure it's terribly comfortable for you to know that you can't make a racist statement under any circumstances.
No, not at all.
It's not comforting at all.
Yeah,
I think he'd prefer just no one else.
No, I can't make it. I could never make a racist statement.
But I'm saying you can't be, even when you are racist.
He could be.
That's one of the rare comfort zones of being a black person.
Yes,
he can be prejudicial, but he cannot be racist.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That is true.
Yes, but anyone can be. Prejudice just implies a prejudge. Yes.
Yeah, which you need to do to make it through life.
It is prejudice is a brain thing. Like our brains make shortcuts because it's easier. That is, but racism is a power inflection. So as a result, black people hypothetically do not have structural powers to be racist, and as a result, yes, he cannot be racist.
So you could prejudge by saying all blacks are dangerous, but that's when you go into racist, right?
I wonder how that's interesting because that's obviously a classic bigotry thing. I think that also is racist because you with your platform are putting out things that could further
Oh, now it's into platforms. That's how they're getting to Gnome.
Yeah. That's how.
Suddenly, Gnome is the most powerful person in the world. You know what I mean? For him going like this, can you do 12 instead of 15? Aziz is here.
He doesn't have a picture up for his Twitter account. That's my big problem with Gnome. I think Gnome is. My main thing is that he is doing a very good job promoting his new television show. There's a Comedy Cellar television show,
Right.
and he's had the Comedy Cellar be in the news nonstop since that show's been announced.
Yeah, but I don't even think he cares that much about the
show.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to. I don't think he needs to,
but I think he likes. I think the thing that he cares most about, if he beyond like that the comedians have a good time there or whatever, is that like the people think the Comedy Cellar is like the comedy club.
It is.
Yeah, but
I mean,
so
it's
anything
Yankee
that's further,
Stadium.
yeah.
But he can't put any more seats in there. Like
Sure.
that place is constantly packed. And if anything, for Gnome, I'm like, you don't need to do all this stuff with these people who don't understand comedy at all. When I hear people saying stuff like, you know, shouldn't a comedy club be a safe place? I'm like, oh, you've never been off either coast. You know what I mean? Most comedy clubs were a cowboy bar 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? There's nothing normal or steady about a comedy club except for the store and the cellar. Everything else is like, hey, we're here. The manager's drunk. You might not get paid.
I think it's a question. If I were to talk to Gnome, which I don't feel like going on his podcast because everyone yells too much, but I think it's a question of like, do you want your place to be a safe space for all people? Like essentially, like.
Well, first of all, you don't even have to think about that. So that's the safest place in New York.
Yeah,
I mean, you got in trouble for writing.
Oh yeah, I almost got kicked out. I literally they're like, get out of here. I was like. I know Chris. I was like, but Chris is on stage. But I promise you, ask Chris. And I was like, this is so funny. And then afterwards, they were but it was so funny what joke they thought I was stealing. They thought I was stealing Chris's material, which was a story about like how his name is funny. Like I was gonna go up and be like, my last name is Get
Hard.
But I think it's interesting because it's like let's say the capacity for a cellar is like 100 people, and if 2 people a night have a problem with something. Your question is, do you care about them? And you can be like, not really. And that's ultimately, I guess, fine. But I think that is like ultimately what I think people are trying to say, which is like 2 people are going to have a bad time.
First of all, none of this is true.
But
here's the thing. Here was the problem with this. People who aren't going to the Comedy Cellar.
Sure.
So the people that are writing about this and complaining to Gnome are not paying attention to the fact that they're not even customers.
Yeah.
So the non-customers.
But does he want them as customers?
A club is a club is a club. You know what I mean? Like most people, when Studio 54 was the biggest club in the world, most people hated it and hated the idea of it. And the people that are complaining about the cellar are someone in Detroit or Iowa. And I could tell you, people get off planes and go to that club. People, the wait line of hoping someone didn't show up is massive every night.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's...
And by the way, the Cellar's only one of his clubs.
Yeah.
You know, there's... You're saying 100, but there's, you know, another room that's 250, another room that's like 85, and those things are just running on a constant basis.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is completely in his right to run it away, and I think people are free to complain, and it's just a question of does he care and that like what their complaints are saying, and he might not because they're running in a certain way, and I think he is fine with a lot of how the Comedy Cellar is running.
Well, I mean, I think he's gone out of his way to explain, and I think he's been amazing. And I don't know whether you heard the New York Times podcast.
I feel like I eventually checked out because I was like, he's a talker. He is a talking type person, and I'm like, and like I've heard it. I got a sense of what his argument is, and I am of the opinion of like that is a completely fine way to. Like, if he wants to run his business that way. My only concern is if it completely weeds out a certain sort of, Like I think the swim at your own risk thing is a very lame thing.
It's true for every comic, though. You don't know who's going on stage.
Sure, I know. I just think it's a lame thing to. I think it's a corny. I think it's corny to have a. You buy a ticket and it says swim at your own risk. You don't know what it's
but
very
see, this
like,
is the weird thing about this.
Yeah.
Everybody is so judgmental, whether it's like what kind of apology Louis should do. Because no one's saying you should never work again. But there's some fake apology that people have in their head that they think is going to make them feel better. And then Noam, who's done an impossible thing, which is run a comedy club. It's impossible to run a comedy club. As a matter of fact, one of the last things you think about is comedy.
Yeah.
Because you're running a fucking restaurant, and that's hard enough. And the fact that he has these unbelievable comics who are willing to go there, I just think people have no idea what that whole process takes place. And he's given it a ton of thought, way more thought than I would have given it.
Sure. Yeah. And I think his continuing willingness to engage is good. I think his willingness to allow people who are there to complain publicly is good. I think it's like it's the thing that is, I think, most redeeming, that he's like, Ted was allowed to do the set he did, and Ted was allowed to then release that set he did. And I think, the main thing that is Noam's big thing is that like he likes free dialogue about this stuff.
Yes, I mean he's totally open about it, and I thought the guy from the Times was terrible, and even calling him back a month later. Now that I have some more things, but it isn't. This isn't Noam's. He's in every club now.
Yeah.
Why isn't anyone like upset about?
And you don't
West
think
Side?
Noam doesn't like? I mean, you know him more. So like as an outsider who is, it feels like Noam is happy to be in that spotlight. You can say no to when people ask you to do interviews.
But I think that he thinks that it's worth talking about. But I think where I've ever seen Noam the happiest is playing music and making people happy. He's an unbelievable, musician. The place, it's almost to me like I've never seen so much, managers running their own room. I've never seen, you bring up about stuff being done that's kind of anti Louis or anti that decision that got done. I've never seen anybody from that management walk over and go, I'm not comfortable with that joke, or would you I mean, it is an unbelievable place of free expression.
Yeah, but I think it's comedy. The ultimately free expression is everyone, the people that complain, and you can be like, their complaints are wrong, but like they are complaining, and then the other side is responding to said complaints, and it's more annoying than it would normally be because Twitter just makes everyone more annoying. But I think it's a question of how the Comedy Cellar wants to evolve or not evolve, and I think it's a great. I mean, I got a fake ID. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I got a fake ID to go to the Comedy Cellar as a kid. It was like, I think there's a lot of people who see it that way, and I think it is a great club. I think it is a great room. Just the general spacing of the room. I think there's just sort of like they are or are not aware that things happen in comedy that evolve, and they either decide to be part of that evolution or not. And they don't necessarily have to be, because so many good people still go there. And I think that's just ultimately the complaints are people that are not necessarily verbalizing this way because they don't necessarily know how comedy clubs work, but they were being like, this is happening. We're shining a light on it. And then Noam could be like, ultimately, I'm taking that under consideration or not. I think, because I think there are comedians.
I mean, he came up with, what is the guy never supposed to get back up again? He's not making a fortune there. I don't even know if he takes his thing. He's jumping back in. And then people, they think if there's some kind of correct apology, then they can somehow.
I was thinking about that.
As a mass, because this is a mass thing. Like, if I would be interesting to me if one website said, hey, what are we, nuts? Why are we trying to do it? Then I would think, but it become, you're shifting, you're evolving as this young audience, which may not even be a comedy audience at all. You know what I mean?
Well, to me, the echo chamber or whatever that I am in involves comedy interested people because what I write about and comedians. But I think it is the bare minimum is like any acknowledgement whatsoever is more than I think right now we could be like, what will be this dream apology? But currently the answer is not no apology. No sort of like acknowledgement of what he said he was going to do, which is like, I'm going to take time away. And like, even
I don't know what he's done with his life though. I don't know.
Well, no one knows.
Yeah.
Right? I think him coming back and not saying anything for a lot of people undermines the original apology he did because it does not seem like he's acting as if he's listened. And I think that is like what is hard is that he said he's going to, what he said in his apology is like, I'm going to take some time and listen. And then, so he took some time. That part he did. He took some time. I think people can argue about the amount of time. But we have not showed any indication of listening because over and over again, people are like, please say something. And he has not. And even when he performed the first time, people are like, again, please say something. And he's obviously not listening because he's not going to. I
don't know whether he's ever listened to anybody. Well, he's only done his own thing. And at one point, all of you, as you said, your echo chamber, had him as such a genius.
Sure.
Every fucking episode gets a write-up. Every joke is, oh, guess who just won the internet? So I think there's this weird fucking ex-girlfriend thing that you guys have with him.
Yeah, I think there's definitely, but that's because...
But that would be a great article. What is wrong with us that we're so fucking obsessed?
I think he is a symbol of a lot of things. And I think that's the same thing that Noam runs into, which is he doesn't know why everyone cares so much about his opinion of these things. And yes, it's partly like they say the platform, but like, oh, he has this club and this club matters. But I think he's also like, I'm just like a guy who had a business and now I'm like expected having these conversations with different. And I think people become symbols of things, and it's hard to imagine yourself as a symbol of a thing.
Yeah,
I think you're like, oh,
to put that on somebody.
I think
weird.
It's weird for Noam because Noam was hypothetically not a famous person, but like part of what happens when you're a famous person, and it's not good. This is why lots of people decide not to be famous, is that you don't get to own part of your life, no matter what. It's not, you don't get to own how people perceive you. And I think
that's because it's a weird mob running around now.
But
why don't you write an article going, hey, Noam's a normal person.
Well, I never met him. I assume he is.
Yeah. And boy, weren't we weird with how much we thought Louis was going to solve us and take us to some new utopian future. I guess not.
I will say that I wrote a thing. I think part of when I wrote after it happened was I acknowledge that why did we put so much stake in this person?
Right.
Like, why did he become the symbol of what comedy was supposed to be? Because he didn't have to be, right? Like, there were other comedians at the time who were also like putting out a lot of material or whatever, or being geniuses or being honest, as if that was like kind of what's his name? Oh, now I feel so bad forgetting his name, but it feels appropriate. The guy who does the speech at Just for Laughs, who always complains about Louis.
Andy Kindler?
Andy Kindler. He always complained about Louis as being this example of the guy that we hold up.
Right.
And so I wrote a piece being like, why was it Louis? And what would happen if we didn't make Louis the pinnacle of all comedy things? So that's as far as I did. Otherwise, why don't write a piece that says, hey, Noam's a regular guy? Is I'm busy and that's a boring piece?
Right. But that's the thing that now somehow, because that is the truth.
Yeah.
Noam is a regular guy. He's got a business. He puts up comedians that make people laugh. That's his thing. And it could be, Chris Gethard, and it could be Yamini Sanders, and a completely different thing. Lisa Traeger's going to go up, and she's going to say some things that piss people off.
Sure.
Is that... I mean, that's also swim at your own risk if you're watching any of those comics.
Look, I get the idea of swim at your own risk.
Yeah.
I think it's a fine philosophy to run your club on. I think saying it is a very corny thing to like. I think it's just the Comedy Cellar. I think has a decent range of comedy on there. I think there's a type of comedian that never flies there, and I think ultimately the club has to accept that they never like. I remember I listened to their podcast every once in a while, and I remember they had Janine Garofalo on, and Noam or someone was like, "Oh, why don't you never play here? We love you here." And she's like, "I would do terribly." And then she's like, "No, you'd be fine." And then she knows she wouldn't fly there.
But she also doesn't fly at a lot of places.
Yeah, and I
even
think, but I
people
think
love her.
ultimately some comedians don't have to. Every comedy club does not have to fulfill all comedians. What was I saying? Oh, to say we are a swim at your own risk club is underlining a part of the sort of people's outside perception of comedy clubs that I think is discrediting what the Comedy Cellar is. It's making it be like, we're just edgy at all times, which I think is imagine someone.
I'm going to say during one show, you're going to see somebody who you're like, what the
about
the
one.
fuck?
But that's the thing. I'd say probably one per show, but that sentence makes it seem like we're the place where we're all sharks.
This is not true. They only put it up because people complain
I get it.
All right, we're literally at the end. I would have loved to have done this for 2 more hours.
Jesse David Fox. Good one. A podcast about jokes is available now on Apple Podcasts. This week's guest is Chris Gethard, and the Padma puts
He's
on
hilarious.
Padma puts on a comedy show. It's almost sold out. Go to bellhouseny.com for tickets.
And all these comics are better than Louis.
Every single
one of them,
including Padma.
Yeah, Padma knows comedy. Dude, thank you so much.
Thank
This
you.
was always fun. Who do you think's the next person accused of rape going to be? We'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.